All right, here we are. Let me see. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, okay. Audio's going up. Cool. So I seen this shit earlier today, man, and yeah, it's only. I'm not gonna go over 20 minutes. I'm just gonna go over this real quick because it's like the first. I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 minutes I want to cover, and the true reactions out of the police, everybody in the room when this woman is talking, right now. I want to make it clear. Let me make sure you guys can hear me. Hang on. Yeah. So I want to make it clear that I have nothing against escorts and prostitution. I think prostitution is great. I think prostitution beats out the middleman. I think prostitution beats out all the bullshit in between, and I think it gets directly to the point of the exchange between man and woman. I think prostitution's great. What I don't like is when hookers try to act like they're fucking some type of God's gift to men, or they try to spin some victim role if a man becomes involved or something like that. That's the shit I don't like. I have no problems with prostitution as long as as long as both parties are genuinely willing to make a deal, right? They're completely conscious and aware to make a deal. I have no problems with prostitution. Now, at some point, yeah, there's gonna be some crimes and shit like that. Either the woman does get beat up and made to do it, or whatever, right? Or she's doing Cardi B shit and drugging motherfuckers or taking all their money. These scenarios are gonna happen. But just the core reality, as long as the two parties are acting like they have sense, I have no problem with. I think prostitution should. I think prostitution is great, and I don't understand. Don't okay. Well, I've gone over why I think it's even looked at as being bad by society is because men have any option outside of what women want them to have. That's why women are mad about it, and then you have chumps who want to please those women and just agree with them, kind of thing, right? But there's no reason to hate any form of prostitution, as long as both parties are acting like they have sense, in my opinion, right? Because that's all marriage. If statistically speaking, based off of what, if you go, okay, statistically speaking, when anybody has done any study over any woman anywhere, right? What man would she prefer? She always is going to prefer a man who earns more money than her, who's taller than her, who's bigger, a man who can in some form protect her, right? So, and I'm going back to my old saying is to be a woman is to be prostitute. There is no way around it. It's a biological necessity. It's literally a biological necessity for a woman to be a hooker in some way, shape, or form, right? Because the woman is going to at some point, as long as she can give birth, even if she can't give birth, her instincts are that she's going to give birth one day. So when she gives birth one day, she can't go out and work. She can't go out and hunt or work or anything to bring in money. So she's going to need a man who can protect himself and her and the children, right? These are the reasons why I say to be woman is to be prostitute, and there's no way around it. There's just some women try to fight it like, oh, yeah, I'm as strong as a man. Yeah, bullshit. Biology over the last 300,000 years have proved that shit wrong. Okay. I have nothing against my issue with prostitution is when bitches try to act like they're not prostitutes, or they try to like fight it and all that shit. That's when I have an issue. Like I said, hookers are flat out hookers to indirect hookers to wives to girlfriends. I think they all can be great as long as they know their role and they're aware of their role. I have no problem with them. I buy them beers and hang out with them. I've done it before, and laugh and have a good time. As long as everybody knows their position, right? So, for example, the little dude, I don't know if anybody remembers the guy who asked Elon Musk if he, remember that dude who asked, hang on, let's look at this up real fast. Who asked, remember this dude? Because I didn't mean to look back into him. Because I got a lot of respect for him, to be honest with you. I really do. I have a lot of respect for him for different reasons. Remember this dude who asked Elon Musk but he said he claimed he was a super genius and all that shit, and he wanted to work for Elon Musk. Now, okay, honestly, I have some respect for him, right? Because out of all, let me see if I can find a video. I do have respect for this dude. I mean, it came off a little awkward and all that. I get that, but let me see if I can find a video. Let's do this. me see if I can find that video real fast. Because I actually have a lot of respect for him, and I'll tell you why. Here's the thing. I have more respect for this man just by doing this than literally okay, right off the bat right now, I have more respect for this crazy man than anybody else in that fucking audience. Right? And I'll tell you why after we watch this video clip.
I've been asking to speak to you now for 2 years.
If it's gonna come up louder, this is too low. Hang on. But I have more respect for him than anybody else in that crowd.
I've been asking to speak to you now for 2 years, to talk to you, to tell you that I'm also a super genius like yourself. But to all benefited Tesla shareholders in the world, I am a capitalist like yourself. I am also a level 2 stage. I've been waiting for 10 years now for someone to give me a second look, a full second look. And if they did, they would see a very advanced mind in front of them. So I'm asking you today, can you give me a second look? I would like to come on board as vice chairman of Tesla.
Well, we don't really have a vice chairman spot. I'd have to say no. I'm probably sorry.
I'm sorry. I can also apply for a future CEO position, but I would at least I would like to come on the board of directors.
Yeah, and see, all that was wild shit, right? And the reason why everybody laughed at him is because he walked up in there on some old, kind of, out of pocket shit, talking about, he's a super genius and all that, and nobody knows who this motherfucker is. So relative to Elon Musk on stage, he's a fucking clown in this room, right? But here's the thing. I do have respect for him for this because I have it in the context of this man in this crowd. I have more respect for him than everybody else in that crowd. Anybody in that crowd who laughed at him, right? I have more respect for him than anybody else who started chuckling and huckling when he started talking, right? Because at least he knew what the fuck he wanted. And he had the courage to say that shit in front of everybody on a fucking microphone, right? Because here's the fucked up reality. Everybody who was laughing at him, and everybody who was doing that, all them motherfuckers want the same shit that he wants. But they too scared to say it because they're fucking pussies. Right? Everybody in that little room, everybody who did that shit, if you ask any one of them outside there, would you like to be CEO of Tesla? All of them say yeah. Right? So all of them want that shit. The only reason all the motherfuckers in that audience is because all of them want to work with Elon Musk, be in partner with Elon Musk, or they think they're going to get something out of Elon Musk's pockets. That's the only reason they sitting down in that room. Right? At least he had the courage to actually say what the fuck he wanted. Right? So I have respect. I have respect on that regard from him. He at least had the courage to say the shit that everybody else is thinking and too afraid to say because they might get laughed at, right? But now we know his face. We don't know nobody else's face in that audience. You see how that works? But now to bring it back to the woman thing and my genuine disgust for hookers in the West / Western women on a whole is that to be woman is to be prostitute. So trying to act outside of completely outside of what you really are is disgusting, right? I forgot how I was gonna link that shit up. I completely lost track, bro. It's this tattoo of tea I'm drinking. I lost track of how I was gonna link that shit up. But back to homie right here, it was some ridiculous shit. I'm not gonna lie, right? This shit was a little weird. I'll admit to that. But the fact that he said what the fuck he wanted to say and kept going when motherfuckers started laughing at him, that man has more courage than everybody in that, at least anybody who in that room who was laughing at him. I guarantee you that. I guarantee everybody else in that room who was giggling at him and shit. See, they ain't gonna be on here. Yeah, see, they don't have the courage to put themselves on YouTube and then analyze themselves and all that shit because they're pussies, right? What's this dude's name? Is his name Roy? Yeah, but I honestly have more respect for him. I think that took far more courage than anybody in that room who chuckled and laughed at him. That's what it is. Because I've been meaning to talk about him for a while. Because I always thought that about him. I think it was weird, but I can respect it for what it is, right? Just like I used the theories a while back, like like trying to predict what people will like ends up just being a waste of time, right? So an example I use is in the reality, let's say like him, or like the example I used to use a long time ago. If you were like in a shopping mall, right, and let's say you just decided to just stand up and just start jacking off, like if you stand up on like on a dinner table, right, and just put one hand behind your head and start jacking off, like pull your dick out and start going, like all, I mean, and humping the air and all that shit. Like let's say you decide to do that, right? Okay, like pray, like okay, the cons be you probably gonna get arrested, shit like that, and that's enough to scare people away from doing shit like that, right? But if you think about the reality on the perception, right, and if you have somebody like me to break it down for you, you would have to acknowledge what I'm saying is true. There's gonna be a percentage that okay, most of the people are gonna do what they did to him. They gonna laugh. They're gonna give that general accepted response. So to that, they're gonna go, "Oh my God," right? But in reality, deep down, you're gonna have some people who are gonna go, "Oh my God, like he actually had the courage to do that," and I would have never had the courage to do that. Some would be, "Oh man, that motherfucker's wild." In reality, very few people would genuinely be upset with you, right? Like that's the thing. Very few people. Well, the point I'm trying to make is very few people would genuinely disagree with you if they got to talk to you or they start thinking about it on any philosophical reasoning. Very few people would be in a disagreement, complete disagreement, unless there's like kids around. I get that. Like if let's say there was no kids around, like you're in some shit like that. I can understand if there's kids around, but here's the so here's the thing. Like shame in society is not reality, man. Shame in society is other pussies trying to assume what other pussies want to hear and think because they all think that Elon Musk is going to come knock on their door and say, "Hey, congratulations, little pussy. You followed my plan that I want you to do. Here's $1 billion." Right? And Elon Musk was never going to do that. Elon Musk is never going to do that. Jay-Z is never going to do that. This is Elon Musk and Jay-Z's life. It's not yours. You got to make your own life. Trying to sit up and be on this whole, I'm going to try to say and do whatever I think you want to fucking hear shit. Yeah, you're going to be, you know where motherfuckers like that end up? They end up chuckling in the crowd while he was talking. See, those people end up being a chuckler's point. The motherfuckers on Reddit, talking about some of everybody, that's who those people end up being. The motherfuckers trying to sit up and please everybody goddamn else because they don't have the courage to go out there and do anything on their own. So they'll rather sit back off screen and chuckle or sit on Reddit or sit on fucking Facebook and just talk shit about fucking, like genuine shit about stars, right? That's what they'll do with no real logic behind it, right? Outside of, I think this is what other people want to see and hear. Again, like I got more respect for him than anybody who laughed at him. Because I know how that shit turns. See, that moment could have, okay, because here's the reality. See, when you become an independent person for real, like a completely independent person in any way mentally in the world, see, what happens is you start seeing some of the most just ridiculous equations that ends up, making people like take off successfully, right? So from my position, what I see in homie, in this dude,
I've been asking to speak to you now for two.
What I see is I'm not the only person who's saying this. There's tons of other people who either thought it to themselves or said it out loud, right? How does work? See, somebody seen that, and a somebody seen that, and came to him and asking, "Well, what do you got?" See, that's how these things work. But see, everybody chuckling at him in that crowd. See, the people who chuckled at him in that crowd, to him, is like me versus pretty much everybody I grew up with in Cincinnati, Ohio, right? Because I used to get roasted, man, because I used to always have different views. I used to always have the views of I want to get out of Ohio. I don't want to work 40 hours a week. I want this, I want that, and motherfuckers will roast me for that shit, right? I get roasted for it. Well, guess what? Now all them sitting back in Ohio in a fucking warehouse factory, or if they lucky they had a desk job, and I'm sitting up with Prague in my fucking window with a European spouse and you know what I mean, and a baby in you know what I mean in Prague in Europe, Czech Republic, right? And all them sitting at home eating fucking McDonald's and the same cheeseburgers every goddamn day, hoping for a new barbecue sauce to come out. Right? They're chucklers, man. So here's the overall message I'm going to now with this is if you want to do something, motherfuckers are always gonna roast you, hate you, and all that, whatever, right? Just focus on whatever you want to do, because here's the thing. People who are going to really, I mean, when I say roasting, I mean like roasting, like for no real reason type of, they're not really explaining anything, but just like roasting, right? Or just chuckling at him, right? See, every one of those people in the audience who chuckled at him, see, 10 years from now, they're going to be sitting in this, they're going to be sitting in the audience again somewhere, forgotten by time itself, chuckling at other people for taking a chance. Because everybody else in that crowd would not have taken that chance. Everybody else in that crowd, 10 years from now, they're going to be sitting at another Elon Musk meeting, or whoever is the big dog in 10 years, and they're going to be sitting in the crowd chuckling again because they're fucking cowards. That man was not a coward for that. It was a little off. It was a little uncomfortable to watch, but he worked through, like he stood up for himself and owned it, right? I got more respect for him than anybody else in that crowd, especially anybody else who was chuckling. I have more respect, honestly. I really do. Because one thing's for sure, if he hadn't never said that, he would have, just like everybody else in that crowd, he would have faded off into time and existence itself, and would have been nothing. It would have ended up being nothing but another whisper in the background.
Yeah, we gotta keep our voices down because Mr. Musk might not like it. Yeah, I heard Mr. Musk might give out a grant. Oh, yeah, Mr. Musk, he may not like it. Look at him, he stood up for himself and wanted something and said what he wanted.
So which one you gonna be? If I had to choose between him or anybody, see, here's the thing: we don't know who else was chuckling because they're nobodies. They're whispers in a crowd. They're nothings. We don't even know who anybody else was in that crowd. Nobody does, right? Why? Because they're fucking pussies, right? History. What was that thing from Troy? Remember that scene from Troy where the little boy he meets Brad Pitt and he goes I'd be too afraid to fight him, and he goes, and that's why nobody's ever gonna remember your name. And he walks off home. Let me see if I can find that scene real fast. Remember that scene, where nobody will remember your name. It was Troy. It was in the movie Troy. I need to rewatch that movie because I didn't like it when I first seen it. Here it is.
Are the stories about you true? They say your mother is an immortal goddess. They say you can't be killed.
I wouldn't be bothering with the shield then, would I?
The Thessalonian you're fighting. He's the biggest man I've ever seen. I wouldn't want to fight him.
That's why no one will remember your name.
And that's how it works. He said, I wouldn't want to fight him. And he looked down and said, yeah, and that's why nobody's ever going to remember you. You're going to be if he walks around with that mentality, 15 years from now, he going to be handing the next soldier a shield while he getting on a horse. I'd be scared to go over there, master. What do I do? And that's why nobody's going to remember your name. And go off, and Achilles kept being Achilles, right? And it'd be another Achilles, after he die or whatever, go bankrupt, whatever. And see that mentality, 10 years from now, he going to be doing the same shit. He's going to walk up to the next soldier. Oh my God. Atreus, I'd be too afraid to fight Kratos. And Atreus that's why nobody's going to remember your name. 10 years later, he going to walk up with another shield to the next warrior, right? Saigon, right? He go, oh, dear Lord Saigon, I'd be too afraid to fight somebody like that. That's why nobody's going to remember your name. And run off again. See, you stay away from motherfuckers like that, man. Now, he's a kid. I get that. In the context, he's a child. So, I mean, in context of this, right? Stay away from people like that. Stay away from people like that. Get punched in the face. Take losses. Keep going. Because that's the only way you ever going to grow. See, people like that, they too afraid to take L's. So they going to stay their whole life in that comfort zone, sit in the background, chuckling at anybody who has the courage to stand up and say what they really want. Stay away from people like that. Just don't even associate unless you got some serious words or philosophies to try to exchange on another topic. Stay away from people like, because you're gonna end up like them. You're gonna end up like him. Stay away from people like that, man. Go out in the world, take a fucking L, get punched in the face. Now I understand if you got kids and it's a little harder because you got kids to feed, shit like that. So I'm not trying to say like, if you got kids, you know what I mean, like just up and quit your job and all that. That's not what I'm trying to say. But because responsibilities, things add up. But in the world, man, like keep an eye on what the fuck you are and what the fuck you're becoming by the company you're keeping around you. Right? Anyway, back to this. So let's get started on this topic. Yo, I ain't read a comment. I'm way behind. What's up, Mo? What's up, man? Any books that you recommend? I read Manipulated Man by Esther Villar. I've never read that. People keep recommending that to me. I've never read it. Trying to think. Because right now I'm in the middle of my camp just got kind of boring, so I just lost interest in it. It just kind of went back to the whole like socialist theories and shit, like essentially just socialist theories. Because Hitler came from he didn't come from, but his younger adult years of spitting poverty, so it's just kind of this whole socialist, explaining the realities of how most husbands are going to end up drunk because they can't deal with their wives and their wives keep pestering them and shit like that. He talks about how it's like women's nature to like if you were to push women or a society on a group of people, women and or society would rather choose to be enslaved versus enslave the weakling kind of thing, which is true for the most part. Most of society would rather, if given the true choice, they would rather be enslaved instead of dominate the weakling. Women and societies like that, which I think Hitler was completely on the right path with a lot of shit he was writing about in his autobiography. I think it was very well made. People are going to try to hate him because he's Hitler, but I think he was very well. I think he had a good understanding of shit. At least in the beginning of his autobiography. But as far as a new book to read, I'm in the middle of Slaves to Geography. Prisoners to Geography. Prisoners of Geography. I'm in the middle of that. I didn't touch anything today to read. I'm in the middle of that. I don't even know. I gotta look on my fucking laptop to see what I'm reading now. Oh, because I just got this book I did get this book on tourism. I got this book from the library like 2 days ago. And the reason why I got this book a few days ago, because I actually went to the library, because a while back I was in the architecture area, and there was a book that I was reading on Lime, like with the Greek buildings. Let me show you Lime Greek. So the reason why, that's not what I'm talking about. Lyme, not what was that shit? Not Lyme disease. Greece. So the reason why, like, because I was always kind of interested in why that was all white, and I'm pretty sure it was because they had to paint it. So it was a misunderstood reasoning as to why, like it's not luxury or anything really aesthetically. It wasn't done for aesthetics. It was done from what I remember. It was done to it was painted like that originally to keep diseases down because they were just filthy, if I remember correctly. Whitewash 20. Yeah, during war. Here it is right here. Yeah, the whitewash disinfectant material. So I've always been kind of interested in that, like, in how deep that goes. But no, like that Greece being white like that was not done because they were like luxurious or anything like that. It was done because okay, the issue with Europe is that they're especially in this area of Europe is warm and they're close to a lot of water. right? So whenever you get warmth and water, one, you're generally gonna have more educated people, but on the downside, warmth and water is gonna equal more life, which is good for humans, but it's also good for, for bad things like illnesses, sicknesses, and diseases, right? So Europe was just like horribly filthy for the longest, and they had to paint it like that to keep disease down, in the cities. But yeah, there was a book about Lyme, and it was a really good book, man. But I had to go, so I was trying to like flip through it, and it had like pictures and show you different areas, and it was a really good book. And I went back, and I just couldn't find it. I couldn't remember where I was because it's a long section, and I really probably should have just asked somebody, but I just wasn't in the mood to. So I ended up stumbling on this book, and the reason why I seen this is because this actually breaks down. Because I was like kind of skimming through it. It's not really the greatest book. It's kind of like more like just a general kind of explanation to you get on certain areas. But this part caught my attention because it breaks down. I don't know if you guys. Let me see if I can make this bigger so you can see it. That's what she said. But here, so I was scrolling through it and I seen this. It was the breakdown of why people actually travel, right? And fulfillment needs, all this. So it actually breaks down. And so I read this, and of course at the bottom, the psychological part grabbed my attention too. So I was reading this. I was like, wow, like, just to see it actually broken down like that. I figured like the book must have some other, super interesting parts, but it's not the best book, honestly. I was like skimming through it. There was a few good parts. I was talking about, I think how, I think France was like the first like super fast train or yeah, super fast train. And it was talking about Japan's trains, and it had some little good, interesting little areas, but for the most part, it just really wasn't. Oh, and it talked about the airplane industry, and yeah, it's not the best. I wouldn't recommend it, honestly, unless you get it for free at the library or something like that. But I mean, there's always something to be taken out of everything. So, but yeah, it's not my favorite, to be honest with you, man. AD, would you clone yourself if the technology existed? Sure, yeah. Just not, but yeah, I would do it just to be like, damn, for real. Like that's the only reason. I mean, yeah, I would do it. Oh, I watched this great episode of Star Trek called the Omega. What was it? The Omega. Omega 2 episode 20. I watched this today. This episode. And this was actually really good. So, and this is what I'm getting at. Like, I think I'm getting to the point now where as I'm getting older and I'm just becoming more aware, I think there's so many episodes of maybe Twilight Zone this is the only Star Trek I like. I only like Captain Kirk Star Trek. I don't like any other Star Trek. I'm just Captain Kirk all the way. Since I've grown and I've changed and my perceptions have changed, right? I think there's going to be so many episodes that I need to go back and watch now that I can see them, from a different perspective. Because this episode, just like thinking about all the little intricacies that happen, I think it would have got a low rating for somebody who wouldn't think too deeply into it, kind of thing. But I thought this is now one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek now. I see why people don't like it at the end. I can understand like that theory as to why. I also think it's a lot of like what do you say, like country superiority. I think that kind of plays of a reason why it would get low reviews. Because it got low reviews. This is like a lower review. Yeah, 6 out of 10. I think it's one of the best episodes. I just watched it today. Thought it was fucking great. But I had to pause it all the way watching through it to catch like all the little areas that like, make sure I didn't miss anything. I was pausing it like all the way through, about an hour long. But this was one of my favorite. This is now one of my favorite episodes because there was so much. There was so much going on in it. I think it's kind of hard for just like the general person just trying to watch TV to grasp. Like you have to be more interested in human development, human perspectives. I think you got to be more interested in these things to truly appreciate an episode like this. And then the overall message it was sending. And I think that's why I got 6 out of 10, because the people kind of took that ending message the wrong way in reviews. Um, because I read the reviews, and I think it was taken from a superiority complex versus what just happened and what will happen, in time, kind of thing. Thought it was great. Another thing, another show, it's on Netflix. This is my favorite by far. This is by far my favorite Love, Death, and Robots episode. Beyond the Aquila Rift. It's just masterpiece. It's a fucking masterpiece. But again, I think this is good even if you don't think too deeply into it. But if you really analyze like the reality of what happened in the episode, it's so much deeper than 20 minutes. Like, it really is. And it's by far the best Love, Death, and Robots episode. By far. It just doesn't even fit in. The only other one that was good was the only other Love, Death, and Robots episode that I liked was when they were trying to control these dolphin things or something like that. And then at the end, like it was a bitch there that the dude wanted. It was 2 humans, and the bitch was running these little like alien dolphin things, and the dude wanted to come there to enslave the dolphins, right? Was what the dolphins, like, they were aliens, so some kind of way they could read his mind, and they figured it out, and they took and killed the bitch, and made the bitch like some like thing he could talk to, and the aliens were talking through the woman whose head was like all fucking like, she was just like melded in with the aliens kind of thing, and was just giving them a speech about how, like, how civilizations come and go type of shit, and how they're gonna try to fight for their existence. I thought that was a close second. But Beyond the Aquila Rift, I'm gonna explain Beyond the Aquila Rift after I talk about this, my main topic I want to talk about. But this is by far this is by far the best episode in Love, Death, and Robots. But I'll go into analyzation as to why it's just a fucking masterpiece. Anyway, let's talk about this. So that was a long fucking, how long? 30-minute rant. But yeah, so Vegas, so this title is the exact explanation of what's getting ready to be said, right? And the reason why I genuinely have a disgust for American women and American mentalities on gender is because it's just flat out disgusting. And the fact that this was posted on the Law and Crime Network, and it has 1.5 million views, right? And nobody thought to even ask the mom, well, why are you pimping out your daughter? Nobody even thought, well, why are you enabling your daughter to be pimped so she has to go to prison? Where's Chris Hansen or why is there no one coming out the woodwork about sex trafficking to come to the mom? Right, like I said, with Bill Cosby, with Jeffrey Epstein, where is the onslaught of attention for the mothers of these girls who knew exactly what was going on? Why is there nobody jumping on the mothers? Okay, the women who Bill Cosby was fucking, those women, look, the mothers admitted. The daughters told stories about their mother telling them to go to Bill Cosby, knowing they was going to do that to him. And there's nothing done. See, sex crimes are only crimes when you can find a way to blame a man. And this is the core part of my arguments from years ago. You see, women and sex means nothing to a woman. It's literally nothing. The only reason why sex is of any importance is because women know that men find it important, right? And examples I use is, let's say in an alternate universe where let's say men just didn't care about sex too and made laws to where to say, yeah, you can fuck a woman on the side of the highway 2 times a month, right? And when you get out, you can just pull over on the side of the highway, and you get out, and you just gotta like text time to fuck to like +338, right? And then you good, right? You can fuck her on the side of the highway with cars watch you and all that, right? Women would have no problem with it. If it was a law and men agreed to it, that would just be it, right? Because in the end, like, what could women really do to fight it, right? Right? What would they really do, right? They would just, they get beat up or whatever, or get left out until they start doing it, right? Like, women are literally following men in everything, right? They're literally the followers because they can't survive on their own, right? right? See, with situations like a YouTube channel called the Law and Crime Network, and they're in it looks like they're in like a county jail type of thing, or I'm sorry, a county police station. And this bitch is in there, and listen to what she's gonna say, and watch the police officers, all of those responses to it, right? Watch this shit. This is wild shit.
Just explains the outfit tonight.
Yeah.
Up on the wall?
Hand on the wall?
Yes, please.
So, what exactly do escorts?
I escort like celebrities and stuff.
You have to work up to that? You have to like start at a certain level?
My mom owns a car business, so she give me her clientele list.
That's nice of your mom.
Yeah.
Do you have to give her like a percentage?
10%.
You do?
I make $5,000 a night.
Does that make your mom your pimp?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Do you know I just got out 5 hours ago?
Did you really?
Yeah.
You were just last night?
Yeah.
So what happened tonight? How'd you get caught tonight?
This limo tried to charge me $120 to go 5 miles, and I wouldn't pay him.
5 miles? That's pretty expensive. Go to this row, all the way down to the very last chair. This row.
Why are there no girls here?
What's the story with this girl?
I was dispatched to relieve swing shift, picked her up at Tropicana for defrauding a taxi cab. She refused to pay a bill, saying that she was driving around town for 2 hours. She said she's only in the cab for half an hour.
Oh, it was 2 hours. Great, thank you.
I'm in jail on a Tuesday?
Party animal.
I don't have any priors.
Now, this is keep in mind, this is after everybody now knows that her mother pimps her out, and they all just hanging out talking to the bitch like, oh, yeah.
You were here 5 hours ago. I'm just thinking it's funny. You said no priors here 5 hours ago.
You see my nails, by the way?
I did notice your nails.
Probably.
Listen to
I
this
have
shit.
a cupcake tattooed on my ass.
Oh my
Don't show
god. Wait, you got a cupcake tattooed on your butt?
Yeah, that's my name, Cupcake.
So why on your butt?
What? So people can frost it?
Is she down with medical?
Why do you have a tattoo of your name on your ass? Because guys can come on it. Because my mother sent them to me. Listen to this. You're fucking gross. This is fucking sick, dude. Listen to this shit, man. Like, it's sad. This is why I genuinely... And they put this shit on the Law and Crime Network on YouTube. The bitch literally just told you her mother is her pimp and is giving her clientele of guys who bought expensive cars to go suck their dick for some money. She can literally say the shit in a police station, and then they recorded the shit in the police station, went back, edited all the shit, and went, oh yeah, this is good material. This is funny. And then posted shit on YouTube. Of them just giggling. Oh, he could come on your butt, Cupcake. Think about how fucked up is that? That is sad. It's fucking disgusting. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Think about that. Think about how sad, how disgusting that is. It's sad. It's pathetic. And they put that shit on the Law and Crime Network so everybody can see. Now, let's employ a thought exercise. Could you imagine what would have happened if she had said, oh, my father owns a car dealership and he sends me clients. He sends me to go meet people who bought cars from him, and I pay my father 10%. Could you imagine the backlash from that? They just sent Batman after that motherfucker. They would have sent the Justice League to go get his ass. Fuck the Suicide Squad. It would have been Justice League save the hooker. Save the innocent hoe. It had Batman, Green Lantern, I'm here. Watch the perimeter. This motherfucker been doing Dark Knight takedowns all around that fucking car dealership. Talking about something. Whoosh. Just come down. Whoosh. Coming from the bottom. Whoosh. For like, it's gross, man. Like, that shit's fucking disgusting. All you would have seen was just a cape, just whoosh. They just said the Justice League after that man. And then talk about he hung himself in prison. Then everybody want to know, well, what was his friends doing? What was the clientele list? Motherfuckers would have been all over him. But see, it's a woman, so oopsies. Tee-hee. Yeah, I send my daughter to go suck men's dick and she pays me 10% of it. Oopsies. Tee-hee. Like the Law and Crime Network, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for posting that shit. Right? But see, this is the core of what I get at about realities, right? Of, let's say, when you deal with retarded people, when you deal with fucking, like, I'm only going to use this word as just for shock value on YouTube. I wouldn't say it's in everyday life. When you mess with whores, when you mess with faggots, when you mess with anything that's considered like you don't touch it kind of thing, when you deal with mentally ill people like that, you see, like, retards, whatever the fuck, physically handicapped, mentally handicapped, these motherfuckers are the most wildest motherfuckers, like, you know what I mean, outside of that normie light. Right? These motherfuckers are the most, and everybody, and see, the thing is, people who genuinely work with these people, right? Like, see, they know it's all a joke, right? They know, like, yeah, none of that, all that shit you see on Facebook or CNN or whatever the fuck, all that's a joke. All that's a joke. All that is just, is essentially everybody who's chuckling in the background at him, right? Because everybody in that background who's chuckling, they just trying to please Elon Musk and thinking, because they think Elon Musk gonna come and give them a job. That's why they was back there chuckling. But again, she literally is in a police station. She's getting she's getting booked, and they ask her, "What do you do in a police station?" She goes, "Oh yeah, I pay my mother 10%, because she's my pimp." Oh, oopsie. Oh, it's so funny. It's a joke. Oh. Like, so the title of this video was, yeah, human trafficking. It's only a crime if men get caught doing it, right? If women get caught, it's a joke. It's lighthearted unless the Law and Crime Network could have found a way to blame a man and all that, then it's a joke. It's lighthearted. Well, she agrees to it. She's a strong, independent woman, right? But if a man had anything to do with that, oh, it'd be if she had an uncle, if she had to mention that her uncle was like, let's say like she had to meet her uncle to give him the money to give to her mother, then they would have been after that uncle. Because he must be destroying all those innocent women's minds. Yeah, see, now, men are always the scapegoat for bitches' problems all the time, right? Men, you are responsible for everything. This is gross, man. Listen to this shit again. This is fucking sick. This is disgusting. Well, just read that part right there. Does that make your mom your pimp? And she just laughed, and it's funny. Yep. And I'll go out and do it again tomorrow night. Mother, well, it looks like I got booked today, so I'm only gonna bring you maybe about $70. Because this bitch is not making $5,000 a night. Look, mother, I think probably 10%. She ain't making $70. I mean, she makes $700. Well, in Vegas, she could probably get away with that from some desperate motherfucker, but. Mother, yeah, I only sucked like 4 dicks tonight, so I can only give you like $50. I got booked and caught. Okay, mommy. Okay. Is it okay? Are you gonna be mad at me? I can only give you $50. No. I gotta make it up tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Did the police ask anything about you? No, mommy, you're a woman. They don't care about it. No, it's no big deal. We're just women. No, they didn't ask about you at all. They even gave me papers to sign off, because they're gonna put it on YouTube. Yep. I'm gonna get paid for it. You know, she probably even got paid for this shit. I'm gonna get paid for it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just waiting on my residual checks coming in pretty soon. Yes. Okay, mommy. Well, tomorrow I'll bring you $100 to make up for the dicks I didn't suck tonight. Okay, goodbye, mommy. Click. And how much you want to bet? That was how they conversation went. How much you want to bet, right? But since it's women, it's no big deal. Now again. Imagine what she would have said. Okay, replace mom with dad in that sentence. That is now a crime. That is officially now a crime. Could you imagine the backlash? They wouldn't even okay. They would have only posted on Law and Crime Network if they went out and found the dad later, and raped his asshole type shit, right? Maybe they went off and found the mom. I highly doubt it, but maybe they went off and found the mom. I mean, even if they did, the fact that their reaction during this video was the way it was just says enough. And the fact that they thought it was completely fine to post these reactions and show her hanging out and talk about she got a tattoo on her ass so men could fucking frost it or come on it, after knowing that her mother is the one who's giving her a clientele list and she's paying her mother for that. Come on, dude. That's fucking sick, dude. That's fucking gross. That's fucking gross. Think about that shit. It's like could you imagine if they had to replace mom with dad? Right? Could you imagine what bitches on this? First off, the shit would have went. It probably because she's a white woman, she didn't look too terrible. Oh, it would have been on TikTok, Instagram, everything. They would have been on a man. They would have found the father. They would have put the name of the car of the car lot all over the internet. They would have found his picture. They would have knew his age, where he was born. You know, they would have showed his house, everything. If that had been daddy who did that, that shit would have been all over the internet, all his business, right? But since it's mommy, it's it's a joke. It's not. Yeah, it's not that shit. Yeah. It's a joke. It's fucking sick, man. It's fucking gross. This is fucking sick. Let me catch back up on these comments. Cops are in on it. Arkham Asylum takedowns. Oh, yeah. If that had been daddy, they would have sent the Justice League to go get his ass. They would have sent the Justice League and the Avengers to go get him. They would have brought Robert Downey Jr. back to go get his ass. Hey, Robert, look, we got a job for you, sir. I don't know if I want to do it. Look, RDJ, we need you. Innocent woman was hurt. We need help. Get Jarvis back. Do something. We need assistance. Batman might not be enough. We need you, the Hulk, Scarlet Witch. Hell, even just call up Doctor Strange. We need to just call everybody in. We need everybody. Fuck. It's gross, man. You forgot that she's a white woman. Law. Oh, yeah, laws don't apply to it. Yeah, I just don't want to bring up race because I brought up race like the last week or two. But yeah, that's definitely, it's definitely playing a major part in it. But, oh, yeah, because if that had been dad, they would have came. They would have rushed down that motherfucker's door. I was because I was talking about race the last week and a half, so I just don't want to go back on race. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's where I was. Yeah, Alchemist surfboard. That's where I was going to go, too. Yeah. All mothers are pimps. All mothers are going to be pimps. All mothers are pimps. And all women are prostitutes. The reason why I say all mothers are going to be pimps and all women are going to be pimps. And so, okay, here's the reason why all parents of women have to end up being pimps in some way, right? And it's usually going to be the mother, right? The reason why I say this is because, see, the difference between a boy growing up and a girl growing up is two different issues, right? See, as a boy growing into a man, once it becomes clear you're a man, you are literally just forgotten until you become something, right? Like nobody cares about you anymore. You're thrown out. Nobody wants to have sex with you. You're just a worthless piece of space until you go out into the world and you become something, right? And even then it's getting harder now, but even then men can still work around it, right? On the flip side, when a girl turns into a woman, she can always be used because she's just a woman. Right? Now, the downside is that women are usually going to always require more maintenance than she's going to require more expenses than she already has, right? So the reason why all mothers are essentially, all parents of girls are essentially going to have to be pimps at some point is because every parent of a girl at some point is just going to get tired of her, right? Because she's going to require too much money, too much She's going to have an attitude, you know. So she just wants, and at some point, every parent of a mother is going to eventually want her, is going to want a man to come take her away from him, at least for a little bit, right? At least for just to get a break from her, right? And every parent of a boy at some point is going to be like, okay, you're a man now. You got to go out there and become, right? So, so back to the women. The reason why every mother is a pimp is because, okay, like the examples I used before. That video I did there was a video I did a long time ago about, it was this dude. He did a TikTok that went viral saying, "Oh my God, I just can't believe that I went to Walmart to buy my daughter clothes, and it was just all skin tight clothing, and I'm just so outraged by it." And of course, all the dingbat bitch feminists came out and was like, "Yeah, it's all Walmart's fault. Nah, stop selling these clothes, right?" But and see, my purpose, as always, is to deduce the logic on it, right? Historically speaking, which parent is the one who's going to go to the store and buy these skin tight clothes for their 8-year-old daughter? Is it going to be daddy? No. Mommy's the one who's going to go out there and do it. Right? Mommy's the one who's trying to make her daughter look as cute as she can and as sexy as she can at 8 years old to be better than the other girls in the class. Right? Because here's the other part, because I know that, okay, because the other part of this argument, because I know with me talking about this, it's going to immediately bring up red flags. I'm some kind of pedophile creep or anything like that. So I have to deduce this shit to make it clear, right? Think about this shit, right? Right. If you go to any woman on the street, right, and you show her two pictures, let's say you show her one picture of like a woman with like baggy pants on, a loose fitting shirt, you know what I mean? And then you show her another picture of a woman with tight leggings on and a tight shirt where her tits popping out. And you ask her which one of these pictures are the sexualized one. She's going to point towards the skinny, the skin tight shit, right? She's not going to point towards the baggy clothes and all that. If you ask any woman in society, which one of these are the more sexualized clothing, right? The girl in the baggy jeans that don't show off her leg figure and all that, or this woman over here. Here, I'll show you. Let's do it right now. And then let's do this, right? Let's do, so, and see, and they always got to show off some part of their figure because they're fucking hookers, man. It's just what they do. They have to show off some sex appeal to get attention because they're fucking worthless otherwise. Let's do this. Fat woman, because they're not going to try to show off their stomach. Yeah, so let's do. Oof. This is gonna be harder than I thought. Let's just do like this one, right? Let's do like this one, because this is like more of a regular fit, right? Now, if you show any woman on the street who okay, versus, because I know what I said is gonna be taken as like, oh, why are you looking at young girls in leggings and all that? Why are you saying that sexually charged? Okay, look, if you show anybody on earth, okay, which one of these looks is more sexualized, right? I'm not even gonna choose a sex pose one, right? Which one of these looks do you think would be seen as more sexualized in society? If they told you to go to an audition for like a music video or a movie or you know or an advertisement on TV, right? And they told you to dress sexier, which one would you wear? Would you wear this or would you wear that? Which one would you wear? And every woman's gonna say that. Every woman's gonna say that. Right? Every single woman is going to say that one. No woman is going to say, yeah, that looks pretty sexy right there. That'll be taken as sexy. No, every woman who would try to say that I'm being a pedophile and all that, if you came to them with that exact question, they're going to say that one. And you say, why? Because I can see the woman's figure. I can see her curves. I can see her figure and she looks fit. Right? Why not this one? Because I can't see her body. I can't see her curves and she doesn't look fit. Right? Every woman is going to say that. So here's the thing. If you know that, then why? And so if you know that, why dress up an 8-year-old child like that? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of dressing up an 8-year-old girl like that? It hurts me to even look at this shit because I genuinely despise this type of shit. Most men do. It's the mothers who like this shit. Because mothers are the real fucking creeps. They're the pimps. They're setting their daughters up to go get fucked. Most fathers, if you go into fucking Rikers Island, if you go to any fucking high security prison and be like, look, dog, your daughter dressing up, your daughter's mama got, look, there is nobody in Rikers Island who would be happy about their daughter dressing up in this type of shit, looking like that. You wouldn't find a man in Rikers Island who would be down for that shit. But guess what? The soccer mom in the Ford Fiesta, that looks cute. So you tell me which one is the real fucking creep? Which one is the real fucking weirdo? Right? So why do you think Walmart is selling this shit? Because who's buying it? Who in their right mind has a daughter? Who has any daughter of any age? Who in their right mind? What man in their right mind is gonna go to Walmart knowing full well he getting ready to buy his daughter some shit to go walking around in public looking like that? No man is gonna be down for that. No father is gonna be down for that. Now mothers, yeah, I think it's cute. Well, men shouldn't want to look like bullshit. Because like I said, the reason why was because every part of the woman's argument is bullshit. Because again, this argument that I gave before it, if you went to any woman on earth and said, look, we have a role for a movie and we want you to dress sexy. So which one of these would you pick that you think would best fit the role to look sexy in this movie? Which one would you pick? Would you pick this one or would you pick that one? Which one would you pick? Every single woman on earth would say that's the one that would mean sex appeal, right? And then they turn around and dress their 9-year-old daughters like this. So who's the real fucking pervert? Who's the real fucking pedophile? Who's the real fucking creep out of all this? Is it the men or is it the women? It's pathetic, man. And you get shit like this. Her mother, she flat out just said, yeah, my mother pimps me out. Yes, my mother pimps me out. Yes, it's a joke. see, child sex crimes, sex trafficking, it's only a crime if they can find a way to involve men in some kind of way. If they can't involve men into it, oh, then it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing. It's no big deal. No biggie. No biggie. Humanity is screwed. My mom picked me to the military probably for the guarantee of money if I pass away in combat or not. I wonder why the recruiter. Look, man, look, them recruiters, women are terrible. I say this to everybody, man. I say it to Esmeralda. I tell everybody who knows me, when we go on this topic, I say, look, women are awful. They're terrible. They're just terrible people. The only reason we keep them around is because we want to fuck them. I think, who was that? Bill Burr said that shit. The only reason we keep them around is because we just want to fuck them. And Al Bundy, where as men, we're optimistic that women can become something of true value outside of sex. That's the only reason why we keep them around, like as a species, right? Because think, okay, here's another thought experiment, right? Let's say like this building, or let's say if you're in an apartment building, or let's say on your if you live in a house, let's say on the street that your house is on, right? Since women think they're so strong and smart and all this shit and all that, right? Let's because I live in a building right now. So let's say this technically, America, we would call this apartment buildings, but over here they call it but it's more like a condo situation. But I'm just going to call it an apartment building. In this apartment building, right, let's say if the strike of midnight, all men in this building decided, you know what? If a woman decides to talk, we just going to punch her in the face until she shuts up, right? And let's say all the men in this building just decided that shit, right? Within a week, no woman in this building would be talking. Right? Because there would be nothing they can do to prevent it. It would be nothing they could do to really fight physical strength. Instead of go call a bigger man to come, fix us. But women by themselves, like they have no power. Like the only power that women have is the power that men allow them to have. I think Patrice O'Neal talked about that shit. About when he got arrested by that police woman. He said she arrested me because I allowed her to arrest me. But it's the truth, man. Like that's it. But man, yeah. But then recruiters, man, look, they already know, man. They know. They mothers come in trying to get rid of their kids. Look, because that woman. Because here's the reality. Here's the reality. The woman wants to keep as much as those funds to herself. Right? She's trying to keep that shit for her. Look, I'm trying to tell motherfuckers all the time. Women don't love you, man. They don't love us. They deal with us because we're the best protection or social status in their lives. And once that's exhausted, she's gone. They don't love you. They don't love. I always try to tell, like, don't ever get illusioned by that shit. They don't. Period. They don't have the capacity to. Throughout history, women have never gone off. Okay, let's just use Ukraine as a perfect example. Remember Ukraine or any war. What will women in the West do? Who's so strong and independent and feminist? What will they do? They'll sit up and go, men, you need to go do something for it. The women ain't doing shit. They gonna sit back at home in comfort. The men better go out to Ukraine and fight Slava Ukrainia. Right? The men better go do that. The women, it ain't. They like it is what it is. And then what are those women gonna do? They're gonna dress up, look cute, and look forward. And whoever wins that fight, she gonna go suck on their dicks now and talk herself into finding love over there. It's bullshit, right? And because they never grow out of it, man. They stay the same age they never grow out of being 14 years old. They just don't. And a clear example of it is online dating, right? It essentially just became just high school, 3.0. That's all it became. I think I'm about done my ta-ta-tea. I never listened to that doctor. I remember when Patrice and Dr. Z, because it was the blonde bitch with big tits, and I think he made her mad and she left or something like that. Which that's how it usually happens. Like that's what happened with me. Like when a bitch like that comes across a man like me and we get to talk about real shit, like she's gonna just run away because she doesn't know how to properly deduce anything, and she's used to guys going, "Okay, I want to fuck you, so I'll let you be right now." Like Brittany Renner at the thing I reviewed where that guy was like holding her hand at the end of it. See, like Brittany Renner is used to men going, "Okay, you're kind of cute, so there's a chance I could probably rub my cock on one of your curves. I'll let you get away with it." But see, but here's the part. Like with the Dr. Z, see, Brittany Renner, her day's coming where she's gonna come across that man like my brother or my uncle who died, right? She's gonna come across one of them types of dudes who don't care. Them hood dudes who don't give a fuck, right? They don't that whole don't beat up a woman shit and all that. Them dudes don't care. She's gonna come across that man in time where she's gonna fuck around, and it don't have to be a hood guy, but like say, because my uncle, he was one of those kind of guys. My uncle, he was robbing men and women. I remember a story my aunt told me because he was big too. I told my story, Uncle Tommy, because he died, so I could say his name. Uncle Tommy, man, he was big, and I remember the couple times he came over my dad's house. He always had a beautiful girlfriend with him, like beautiful girlfriend. And I remember one time, and this is embarrassing, because I feel embarrassed about this. I remember once he came over with a beautiful girlfriend, and I was on a big wheel, and I tried to look cool on the big wheel, because she was there. I was on a fucking big. Y'all know, I'll show you what a big wheel was, man. I was on a big wheel, and I remember like thinking I was looking cool on the big wheel. These was the shitty ones, man. These red, yellow ones, because the traction would always, if you tried to burn rubber in them, the traction always died in these motherfuckers. These was the shitty ones, man. The red and yellow ones. These was the shitty ones. Because you had, these are like little ones, but they had like bigger ones. I don't know. Let me see if they had a big wheel. Because these are like for little kids. Okay, what I'd had this is like for a grown man. It wasn't that big. But it wasn't like this small either. So we were bigger than that. But I can't find them. But we used to ride big wheel, and I used to try to look cool, impress her while I was on my big wheel. But I remember my aunt, she told me, she used to tell me stories about what he said. He used to call him Tommy, yeah, Tommy, because he said he used to snore real bad. And the other thing was she used to come home and she used to just see purses like all on like the table, right? And she'd go in there and she'd be like, "What are all these purses on the table?" And she went to go ask Tom, like, why are all these purses on the table? Uncle Tommy was going there robbing bitches and just taking bitches' purses and just line them up in the fucking house. Right? Like that was the type of dude he was. Like back, like I mean, like there's always that type of guy exists, right? He's always out there. Like an Uncle Tommy is out there somewhere. Or my brother. Like my brother, he like I remember he like dragged the bitch like by her fucking hair. We was sitting at the table, just got up and got behind her and just pulled her by her fucking hair and just drug her out. And her mom and his mama was sitting right there. And just looked like, oh well, guess you gotta pull a bitch sometimes. Like that's what it was, right? So like with them Brittany Renters, her days are gonna come where she's gonna come. She's gonna try that wrong man who's gonna beat the shit out of her. And she gonna hit a Roy Jones Jr. When when she take that L, she gonna disappear off the face of the earth. Like remember Roy Jones? That whole I can't be stopped, I won't be stopped. That motherfucker he lost one time, and you never heard from that motherfucker. That confidence went down the drain. If I remember correctly, I might be off, but from what I remember, that motherfucker had a Jordan deal, had music videos, and was, doing this shit. That motherfucker lost. He got bopped. Well, he met his match one time, and that was it. Roy, who the fuck is that? That motherfucker lost a fight night cover and everything. That's an EA curse. Motherfucker was EA cursed that he was done. And that's what Brittany and that's the thing. Like with a lot of bitches out there, I think it's going to be harder for women to remember that reality now that those kind of guys are out there because there's just so many simps and chumps that's developed over the internet type of thing. But those men still do exist for sure. All right, they definitely are still out there, right? Those men are definitely out there. That they might just be more in ghettos and shit now, something like that. But those men, look, there'll be a lawyer or a dentist out there that just don't play that shit. Like, yo, there's dentists, lawyers, doctors, pediatricians. Like some of them motherfuckers just don't play that shit. Right? And a bitch get to coming in talking sideways, she gonna be picking up her teeth off the floor. Is it Brittany Renner? Them Brittany Renner type hoes, like. See, Brittany Renner come across that wrong man and get to acting like that around him, like on that stream where she was yelling at motherfuckers on the stream. See, she gonna do that, and her teeth gonna be on the floor before she can close her mouth back up. She gonna be looking at her teeth on the floor, like, oh. I mean, and I'm not even saying that to Rosa. I'm just saying it to be real about it, right? And to be honest, she needs it, and I think she knows it. I'm sure she knows it, but she needs it. You mean them bitches like that? Like here's the thing. Most Western women need that shit. And the thing is, like, in my opinion, I think most Western women, they really know that they need it. But they also, like, here's the thing. Women are just like children, right? You know when children be like wanting a whooping because I remember doing it when I was a kid. Like, you just start doing annoying shit just to keep doing it, right? All the time. Women are the same way. Just like children, like they want to be like the woman is most happiest when she's hard checked, kind of like children, like that's what. Because here's the thing with small children, once they're aware of what they're doing, not like my son, I like Kratos, he's just too small to he don't even know what he's doing yet. Like he's starting to get there, but he still doesn't. He's not like aware, like for example, like now, like if I tell him like don't open this, if I say nah, like because he's trying to open this drawer under here. Now he'll look at me and come and try to do it again, right? While he's looking at me type of shit because he wants me to check him kind of thing, right? Women do that shit all the time because they don't grow up, right? So in my opinion, most Western women want that shit and they're desperately, they're in desperation for wanting to just be dominated. But at this point, the only reason why men let them get away with it is because men are raised up on that mentality like, oh, well, if I just be nice to you, there's a chance that you might suck my dick and I'm desperate. So men, they'll just let them keep getting away with it, right? So women are just going to get more and more ridiculous until men unitedly stand up and smack them down. Like that's how it works, right? Physically or mentally, right? That's just how it's going to work. If you keep if you let a child go. Now, here's the thing. With small children, I used to do this with small children. Like, just let them go, right? Once they're aware, like once they're like, I say like from 2.5 and up, like they know what they're doing, like they know they're being bad. Here's an exercise for you. Just let them keep like because they're gonna look at you to see if you gonna come straighten them out. And when they look at you, let them keep going. Just let them draw on the wall, let them break some shit, and let them just keep going until they run out of steam of being bad. And they'll finally get it, and then just sit down, just and they'll get tired. Like they're doing it literally just to test you. Because I've done it multiple times, right? They'll do something, break something, throw something because they know you're gonna yell at them, right? But if they do something bad and they know they shouldn't do it, right? They're gonna look at you, and then you just be like, and he gonna go, ha! Then he gonna look for the next bigger thing to throw and throw that, and he gonna look at you and be like, and you just be like, well, sometimes you gotta throw some shit. I don't know, right? Then he gonna go, power. Right? And he's gonna pick up anything and throw it. And it's only gonna last for like 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe if you're lucky, maybe 30. And then he'll run out of steam of being stupid. He or she, the baby, will run out of steam being stupid. And he'll just give up. Right? And they'll just give up. Right? Just like women. Women are at a see the missing dynamic in that equation is men aren't just going, well, sometimes you just gotta get with a 6 foot tall man. I don't know. That's just right. Like that's a dynamic that's missing in the dating market. If men just collectively tapped out and didn't care, right, and just moved on, the women would be like, well, you gotta be 6 foot tall, blah, 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 blah. And then they'll slowly go, okay, I don't really care. The only reason why women are holding on to this 6 foot tall, 6-pack abs, 6-figure is because men are playing into it. Okay, correction. The reason why, let me correct that. The reason why women are holding so much on to the 6 foot tall, 6-pack abs, all this on a massive scale, right? Women are just openly coming out and saying it and not caring type of shit, right? The only reason why they're doing that, it's 2 reasons. One, because men are playing into it and going, why don't you like me? On the low side, right? On a relatively speaking, on the lower end, the men are doing that. And on the higher end, those men aren't slapping those bitches down like they should, right? They just kind of ghosting them, which is playing more into like the woman need for attention. But if those higher up men was like flat out like punching bitches in the face, shit like that, that would, if the lower men just literally just tapped out, like I've always said for the longest time, if let's say any man who doesn't fit the whole, bullshit that women think that they're intelligent about now, let's say all these men literally were completely okay with tapping out and fucking each other, fucking a tree, fucking a bar stool, right? And then just going off to play Mario and Madden and go to work, right? That would be the quickest way to fix it. The quickest way to fix it. But see, right now, the men are in a bargaining phase in life. See, like men are in like what was it? Men are going through what, the 6 stages of death. First is anger. First is anger, hope, despair. Let's look this up real quick. Stages of grieving. Stages of grief. That's what it is. Yeah. This is what men are going through in a dating market in the West right now. So right now, men. Okay, you have a wide area of it, but for the most part, the majority of men are here. The majority of men are in the top 4. Right. By the time they hit, just like with the stages of grief, by the time they hit acceptance, now they can actually function and do something about it. Travel overseas, just stop caring. Fuck a sex doll, fuck another guy. Who cares? I don't fucking care. But by the time, as long as they're up in here, as long as they're in the top 4, they're never going to be able to really move on, develop, function, and all these top 4 areas are just going to give women more power over them, right? Because now the women know that it bothers you, just like a child. When the child, here's the thing. The only way to win when you're in these areas of dealing with a woman, or like I said, like when you deal with a child who's doing something wrong on purpose, the only way you can really win is just like dominate them with punishment, right? Like Spank him, make him sit down for an hour, take the PlayStation away. That's the only way you can beat him when the child is intentionally doing some stupid shit that they know they shouldn't be doing, right? That's because if you go about it any other way, they're gonna be on top of you, right? If you say, well, what's the problem? What seems to be the problem? See, then they go off to shoot up schools, wrecking a family car, throwing parties. You know what I mean? See, the only way you beat a child is if you have to just dominate them with punishment, right? In the end, now you can do the other way of just like being of acceptance. Like, sometimes you gotta throw a ball out the window. I don't know, right? Accept them, right? But with children, you can't just keep doing it all the time. So with children, you have to just dominate them with punishment. And women are the exact same way. As long as a man is in a denial, anger, right now, okay, I will say this. Right now, the vast majority of men are in bargaining first, mixed with depression and anger. I think denial's kind of been grown out of for at least the past 20-ish years. The denial is over. Now I think the vast majority of men are stuck in a bargaining phase in first place, mixed with depression and anger. Depression and anger like down here, but bargaining is up here. Now men are saying, well, what if I go get surgery to become 6 foot tall? What if I go get a job that makes 6 figures? Would that make a woman happy? What if I go get 6-pack abs? Would that make a woman like me? What if I become because they're trying to bargain? Well, if I do this, now you'll like me. See, men that they're stuck in that bargaining phase, right? Like I said, and I've said this a long time. Once men get to the acceptance phase, like, look, bitches are fucked up. Whatever they think doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Doesn't matter. Whatever, it's life, and they move on. See, that's when women will start acting like they have sense, right? From the lower, because again, so like the higher proportion of men can have problems too. I'm not saying just because you're 6 foot tall, 6-pack abs, all that it's going to be completely easy, because now women are just flooded with attention, so it's going to be harder for everyone. Because there's a 1% of the 1%, right? And then there's a 1% of the 1%. And then there's a 1% of the 1% of the 1% that all these women are always like trying to chase after, right? Because they're hookers. Every woman is a hooker. At some philosophical level, every woman is a prostitute, right? So they're going to go after the biggest payment that they think they can get, right? And it's a biological fact. Like, they have to, because they need a protection for when they're pregnant and they have a baby. So they have to be sure that the spouse can take care of them, right? So from the men on the higher end of it who are succeeding, right, what would help is if they start just dominating with punishment. Smack them in the fucking face. Leave them. Shit like that, right? But on the back end, if the woman gets pregnant by the guy, she becomes a single mother. Then she goes back to the guy from high school that she would never gave attention to, and he's just desperate and he'll take her, right? See, if that guy had just realized acceptance, he can accept seeing, he would be out the red pill rage and accept seeing like what women are. You're fucking awful. So I always have to be on top of you mentally and physically. Right. And I think that would balance out the whole dating scenario. That long-winded rant would balance it out. And the other way that would balance it out is cut out that woman welfare in America. If you cut out that child support system in America, cut out that welfare, cut out giving them flats, and a whole lot of women real quick would realize, yeah, we can't do this no more. If I fuck a man, he impregnates me, and he leaves, I'm assed out. Right, so now it's not so much about just fucking a man with money, because she's not gonna get that same amount of child. Like the child support in Czech Republic, child support out here is like $200 a month, dude. It's nothing. Even with their wages, $200 a month for child support is nothing. I've never heard of a case over $250 a month out of everybody I've ever known who's dealt with the child support system. I've never heard of it be any higher than that, right? So the women here, they got to act a little better. They got to act because they're not getting ready to, because their culture don't even see that as a good way out. Their culture sees living off welfare as a mental loss. Like how it used to be in America, from what I understand, like the 70s and 80s, welfare was embarrassing back then. right? And over here, it's embarrassing over here. In America, it's become normalized in America, right? But over here, they still see it as embarrassing. Oh, I gotta talk to the tea, man. Ah, so strong. Even that little bit. What's up, MG Verde? We live. You got I forgot the donation. Anonymous. Yo, thanks, Anonymous. Let me replay it. It says, hey, oh wait, let me move this now so I can read it all. Okay, stuff just moved on my screen. Am I still live? Oh, I'm still live. Hope I didn't lose. Let me make sure I'm still live, because everything just moved and like it's never moved before. That's what she said. Make sure I'm still live. Hold on, give me a second. I'm watching. I'm on the replay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm still live. So it says, thanks for the $3, man. Thanks a lot, man. Hey, AD, live in the West. I live in the West, and honestly, the culture here is to call us virgin guys incels hurt. Wait, the culture here is to call us virgin guys incels hurts. I'm 25 years old guy who doesn't even bother trying to date due to a girl once saying, you know, and walked out of my room after I brought up sex. It destroyed my confidence. Yeah, man, I tell you what. Yeah, it took that was 27 minutes ago. Sorry, man. Sorry it took me so long to get to it. But yeah, okay. So one, I want to say you this, man. Like, look, we've all been there at destroyed confidence, man. That shit will kill your confidence. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong. I don't even have to know anything else that happened. Just from what you told me, that's enough to destroy your confidence completely, right? It is. And here's the thing. Every man in this chat room, every man who lives on your street, every man that lives in your building has been in your position. I'm not trying to minimize it, but what I'm trying to say is it's common. It's common. For men, it's more common. See, women do not know. See, here's the thing about development between men and women, especially as we get older. See, that pain that you felt from that, because I felt that pain. I know what that pain feels like. Generally, to my perception, because I don't know where your brain exactly is, but I've been through that type of situation, and it will kill your self-esteem, absolutely crush your confidence, and there's nothing wrong with that. The difference in development between men and women is this. See, so let me try to use this as an example. Let's say when you lifting weights, right? Now, I know this is true for me. I'm not sure if this is true for other people, but I'm just going to use myself as an example. Let's say like when I used to lift, when I could lift weights, my back is fucked up now. I can't do it anymore now, but when I could lift weights, when you be trying to go up in weight, right? And so let's as an example, let's just say you're like, curling 10 pounds, right? 10 pounds. And you've been doing it for a while, right? Right. Now, in theory, you should be able, if you're doing like 15 reps of 10, in theory, you should be able to get like a 20 up at least one good time. Well, at least 2 or 3 good times, because you've been building up that weight, that resistance to build, because that relatively speaking, the pain in building the muscle is in you now. So you now have the mental awareness to be like, maybe I can go harder. Maybe I can go stronger. And then what happens? You go up to 20. Let's say you go from 10 to 20. First you were doing 15 reps. Now you can only do 5, right? And then you just stick with the 20, right? It's harder, right? And you can't do as much at first, but you stick with it. What happens? You start to get stronger, right? At first you can only do 5, but you grow, right? And theoretically speaking, you keep going from there. And that's how development and growth works on a healthy, sane, human level, right? Where, the difference is, when women go to lift weights, she gonna go in there with a 2.5 pound barbell and think she's doing something. And if she feels anything that feels uncomfortable where she has to go, she's gonna run away from it, right? So the woman, she can't even imagine picking up 10 pounds, let alone 20. Right? Because it's uncomfortable, Right. So with that being said, that locks out the woman's brain from the fact that she can't even pick, she won't, because since she doesn't feel comfortable, she's always ran away from everything that doesn't feel comfortable. The fact that she can't pick up 20 pounds essentially blocks her out of roughly, let's just say 80% of everything in the weight room. She can't experience anything else. Whereas you, since you built that weight up and you kept going, you went through the pain and struggle to get there, you opened up new things you can do in that weight room because, oh, well, if I could do 20 pounds here, I could do 20 pounds there. I could just do the same thing what I did with my arms and my legs. Next thing you know, now you're working on your legs. Well, if I did that there, I could do it with my stomach. Well, now you're doing it with your stomach and with a little the ab workout shit, right? Well, if I did that, what's really stopping me from putting on a weighted vest, a 20-pound weighted vest in and doing, running at least 2 laps? Now you doing that, right? See, you're getting stronger, right? Whereas, see, woman does not get strong. Woman, as soon as she hits a 2-pound barbell, you'd be lucky to see her go up to 10 pounds. You'd be very lucky. The women who work their way up to 10 pounds are very rare in this context, right? So when it comes to women in the world on a fully functional level, knowing what pain feels like and knowing how to use pain to work in their favor to get to a bigger to a bigger goal, women have no concept of that. Right. So when a woman goes to a weight room, she expects the whole weight room to adjust to her being 2.5 pounds. Right. Which works. OK. And let's be honest. OK, well, let's do this. See, it works as long as she looks like this. As long as she's young and youthful, looks like that. Yeah, the entire weight room will come down and be like, oh, excuse me, would you like this 2.5 pound? Would you like this 2.5? Well, the smallest weight on this equipment is 15, but we can adjust it for 2.5 pounds for you because I think I could put my cock in your mouth. So let's adjust this weight for the pretty woman. Yeah. And see, the thing is, these women actually think they're intelligent now, right? Because everybody just wants to fuck them, so they're giving them what they want. But they've never grown out of 2.5 pounds. So when they walk into a weight room, they're expecting the weight room for the next 10 years to be adjusted for everything to have a 2.5 pound setting. Whereas you, Anonymous, I get it, you don't want to put your name, yeah. You, Anonymous, see, you've developed and grown, right? So to the point when you walk into that room, you're expecting not to be able to lift something in there, but to work your way up to it and grow even more. Whereas women, they expect everything to be lowered for them. Period. So so back to your situation with that whole, look, we've all been there, right? Right. And it fucking sucks. Right. I'm not going to act like it does. It sucks. It sucks. And on a deeper level, why that rejection sucks is because for a man, you might fuck around and go 3, 6, 9 months, a year before you can get in that situation again with a woman, right? It might be 3 months before you get a match on Tinder, Bumble, whatever the fuck, right? See, for men, we have the work. We get nowhere near that same amount of possibilities to have a partner as women do. Right? So that pain hurts us far more than any woman could ever imagine. Look. This woman, and I'm not even trying to roast her or anything like that, but let's just be honest about it. Oh, look like she slimmed up. Is that what she looks like now? So, well, she looks better now. But let's use her in this exact context. This woman has more options than a healthy, fit 25-year-old man in terms of just getting someone to just physically touch her and have sex. All she has to do is be like, I think I want to touch somebody right now. Within the hour of downloading Tinder, creating her profile, and taking pictures, and all this is within the same hour. Right? She will have at least 3 men communicating with her, and at least 2 can be over by that night, within the next 4 hours, to fuck her. right? Precious doesn't even know the reality, the deeper realities of the pain that men feel. And I'm talking this Precious, right? The one from the movie. She doesn't know the reality that men. Now she knows the reality comparing herself to other women. Yeah, that pain hurts. So see, to woman, you see, the fact that she didn't get the guy that she wants hurts. But to men, the fact that we just can't even get a woman hurts, right? And see, that's something that no woman can understand because she's a woman, dude. She's always going to be there's no matter what her position is in life as a woman, she's always going to have a pool of men who's down the fuck at a drop of a hat. For no other reason but because she's just a body. Right? And she's a woman. Right? So no woman will ever be able to know. I think it's useless for women to flex how many times they've had sex, or to try to say like, oh, there's so many men who like me. There's so many men who message me. Look, every woman is always going to have that constant flow of men. The woman's problem is, who does she pick, right? So the fact that she's coming from a whole different perspective right off the bat, she can never understand what you going through, what we go through, right? With this. Right? She can never understand. Right? And see, that's why women can never, this is why women can never ever be truly independent on any level. That's another reason, because they just can't. I can go into plenty of explanations, but that'll be another hour. They have no real concept of hardship. None. By the time they get close to a concept of hardship, it's still life on easy mode for a man. On easy mode. It's still life on easy. By the time she comes anywhere near the reality of the vast majority of men out there, look, it's still easy mode. Every man will look at that and laugh. So to end out where I'm going with this is, see, you're building, you're growing right now sucks. And it may take you a week, 2 weeks. It may take you a month to get over it. It may take 6 months to get over it, but you will get over it. Okay, and you will grow, and when you come out of it, you'll be thicker. Your skin will be, your hide will be thicker, and you'll be stronger after that, right? And the more rejections you take, you face, the harder you'll get in life, right? And you'll be able to move without a care over time. But right now, at 25, it sucks, dude. I get it. It sucks. There's no easy way out of that shit. See, woman's life right now is on easy mode. Now, there's women who they think their life is hard, but no, woman's life right now is on easy mode compared to yours. Now, and like I said, see, you're gonna grow. You're gonna okay. Just to go. Remember what was that white dude's name? That was Skippy. What's his name? Skippy. I was covering Skippy a while ago. I think his name was Skippy. Yeah, this dude. Remember this dude I was covering a while ago? So, see, Skippy, look, he can be 34-year-old virgin, whatever the fuck, right? Right? But see, okay, here's the thing. See, the fact that you had to go through the mental thought process, get up the courage, and to even try to ask her for sex, right? That mental path of growth is something that woman cannot even imagine. She can't even imagine what you must have gone through to have to even ask her for that. Now, I get it. Like right now, like all you see is, oh, I must be disgusting because she said ew, what did ew mean and all that shit like that. I get, like, because I've been there. I've been your age. I was 25. I've been there, man. I've been there. I wasn't a virgin at 25. I'm just not like trying to flex, but like, so I'd already kind of been through that earlier of the whole of going through that like horrible phase, getting rejected. You don't know why and all that shit like that. I've been there, right? But here's like with Skippy, the fact that Skippy has the courage to get up here and make a YouTube channel talking about his life. See, okay, here, let's look at this. Who made this? Did Skippy make this video? So who the fuck is Jamari? See.
Yo, what's going on, my...
So let's get on Jamari real fast, because he's going to try to roast Skippy.
The whole reason I'm going out tonight, okay, like,
girl, and he asks her if she likes some other guy like that, and she says yes. This is all on the drive.
So here's the thing. See, Jamari, I don't even know who this motherfucker is, and I really don't care. He just randomly, I don't know who this motherfucker is at all. I just Googled this shit just to get to Skippy. But see, Jamari is a dude like is like the people in the crowd back in here, right? Because see, here's the thing. See, Jamari is whoever this motherfucker is he's a fucking clown, right? If I had to guess, let's look at his shit. Let's look at his shit. Yeah. He's sitting up just talking about other motherfuckers with nothing really going on in his life at all. All he's doing is sitting up and yeah. See, like, why are you talking about it's finally over for whoever this is? Like, what the fuck? Like, cry. Yeah. See, this dude's a fucking faggot. I don't even got to know who you are, Jamari. You're a fucking fag for making a channel. Fuck, I'm just gonna call you out like that because I don't give a fuck. You're a fucking faggot, dude. Because all you do, you're a fucking news reporter faggot. You don't have a fucking life. You don't do anything with your life. You sit up and just make videos about other people who actually have lives without actually educating anybody in any real way. I could tell just by the title, because only faggots like you would do some shit like this. This is fag shit, right? Flat out. Period, right? But here's the thing. I would love to see Jamari have the courage to put a camera on him while he's going out there trying to lose his virginity. I bet you Jamari wouldn't have the courage to do that. He'd be scared and start shaking. So, in my opinion, Skippy is a better man than Jamari is. Flat out. I think Skippy is a hell of a man for that. Now, sure, he's probably socially awkward and weird and all that shit. I'm not saying that, but again, you had a guy. You have to have some intellect to see through all that and see what you're actually watching. To understand what you're actually watching in periods of life. See, Skippy has the courage to go out there as a virgin, knowing that he's having a rough time having sex, bring a camera along and put up there and record the whole damn encounter with him and a woman, no matter how cringy it got, no matter how awkward it got, and he still posted it to the internet. What the fuck? What do you think Jamari has the courage to do half of that? No. What does Jamari do? He sits behind the camera at home and that's what the fuck Jamari does. This is what fucking clowns do, dude. They don't have fucking lives. They don't have families. They sit up and just pick at other motherfuckers with no real purpose or reasoning as to why. Just to do it, just to start drama. Fucking, that's the definition of a faggot. Yes. Yes. That is the definition of a faggot. Skippy, in my book, is far more valuable than Jamari. Far more. I would much rather have Skippy in my friends group than Jamari. Because that takes courage to do that. Something Jamari doesn't have. Because if Jamari had courage, he would go out there. He wouldn't make a whole channel with just like literally just making fun of motherfuckers just for the sake of it. Everybody else who has lives. Right? Look at this shit. Like, just talking about motherfuckers. There's no real reasoning behind talking about it. It's just guess what Chris Rock said to Hakeem Olajuwon. Did you know Chris Rock said this to Hakeem Olajuwon? This fucking TMZ fag shit, man. I fucking hate these fucking faggots. Like, okay, now this is one area where I side with what was that? No, it was Cardi B. It was Cardi B. And this is where I do side with Cardi B, right? Because it's fags like this that now this is where I would align with Cardi B on this. Cardi B was walking into a restaurant or something like that, right? And her dad was coming in with her. And this dude with a camera was like trying to get all up at her dad. And Cardi had like, yo, like, no, I'm Cardi B. My dad has nothing to do with Cardi B. Like, don't put a camera on him, bro. You could put a camera on me all you want to, but don't put that on him, right? See, faggots who don't have a life don't understand that. Pathetic faggot-ass chump bitches don't understand that. Right? Because, see, their position in life is to always, is literally just to pick on other people for no fucking reason. Right? Maybe to get a $50 check from YouTube, like this type of dude. But there's no real underlying purpose of it other than to sell this shit to other people who hate their lives. Right? My channel is roasting bitches because bitches are stupid and I'm saving men from going out there from falling to dumb bitch shit. Right? If you listen to anything I say, it's not just roasting bitches. It's explaining why bitches are stupid as fuck, why they're doing this, and how men can actually fight it. Right? This shit is this is just faggot. I have no life. You know, I have no life. I'm a faggot, so I'm gonna make news about people who I'm gonna make the most negative news about people. So okay. Here's the thing. And I'm gonna cross the line right here. But it's fine though, right? So it's like those pedophile channels, right? Like the what's these pedophile guys? Okay, so what Jamari is one of these kind of guys, right? And I really hate these channels. I'm not gonna say it doesn't make for good entertainment on some point, but pedo. Let's do this shit. Yeah, so let's see this type of shit, right? See, now this is something that okay. I'm just gonna say my mind on this. I'm not gonna say that. Okay, first of all, I absolutely don't advocate pedophilia. I don't advocate going to hunt down 12-year-old bitches, anything like that, right? I think it's fucked up. But the reason why these really think about the psychology as to why these get so many views immediately, right? Really think about the real reason why any view that has anything to do about pedophiles caught on camera, why do you really think that these always get tons of views right off the bat? I'll tell you why. The reason why these always get tons of views and tons of comments, I'm going to tell you exactly. Let's look at all these comments. I'll tell you exactly why. Why? The deeper reality as to why is because everybody needs somebody to rag on. Everybody needs somebody to bash, right? Because there's always a decent amount of population on Earth who hates their life, right? So if they get the opportunity to look at anybody else who is just the immediate socially recognized low person, they'll hop on it like hotcakes. They'll hop on it because they hate their life. So they need somebody to make themselves feel better. And that's why these channels get deep. Like, really think, like, okay, really think about, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to act like I don't watch some of them from time to time, because I definitely do, but I'm not like a binge watcher of pedophiles on camera or hunting down 12-year-old girl, 13, 14, underage girls on camera or boys on camera. Like, I would never comment on anything. Like, why do you think people really watch these? The reason why these take off is because these okay, every population on Earth has a vast majority of people who hate their lives, and they hate their lives so much that they need somebody else to look at and go, "Oh, he's despicable." Right? He's despicable. Oh my God, I can't believe he'd do that. Which is fucked. I'm not saying it's right what the dude did, hunting down girls or young girls or boys, whatever, but it's sold to people who hate themselves, right? This dude's channel is the same shit. This is the same shit. He already talking about Skippy. Skippy's got far more courage to actually live life than this Jamari dude has, in my opinion. Find me. Here's the thing. I dare Jamari to do it. I dare Jamari to go out there and record his life while he's trying to go get some pussy from a bitch and record the whole thing, no matter how embarrassing he gets. I would dare Jamari to have half the amount of courage that Skippy has. I dare anybody in this comment section to have half of the amount of courage that Skippy has. Right? I would dare anybody in this comment section right now. I would dare Jamari. I would dare Mike Tyson to do it. And that's Mike Tyson. I would dare Mike Tyson to go out and just record it. Record a whole confrontation with a bitch, trying to get some pussy out of her. And no matter how embarrassing it gets, put it directly to YouTube so the world can see it. Mike Tyson would be like, I don't know, man. That's a little hard. You know who did it? Skippy did it. You know who stood up you know who stood up in a whole in a group full of motherfuckers at an Elon Musk meeting and said exactly what was on his mind? Homie did it. Right? He did it. Skippy out there living his life. I'm sure he probably everybody wants a better life. But Skippy out there living his life. See now this dude, he ain't gonna never have to question himself ever again now because he did it, because he tried it. See, everybody again, like, let's go back to this dude. Let's play this one more time.
2 years to talk to you, to tell you that I'm also a super genius like yourself. I'm just saying serious. This is to all benefit of Tesla shareholders in the world. I am a capitalist like yourself. I am also a level 2 stage. I've been waiting for 10 years now for someone to give me a second look, a full second look. And if they did, they would see a very advanced mind in front of them. So I'm asking you today, can you give me a second look?
Okay. I mean,
I would like to come on board as vice chairman of Tesla.
See, because here's the reality of this. Now here's the deeper reality of this, right? Because they being a little Jamaris and shit like that. They gonna laugh at him and all that, right? And I'm gonna read that in a second. I don't wanna lose my train of thought. But thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for a donation, man. Here's the thing. See they all laughing at him and shit like that right now, right? And the whole reason why they laughing at him is one, it's a little socially awkward, but they really think that Elon Musk thought it would think it was funny, right? Because everybody in that audience is secretly hoping that Elon Musk is going to hand him $1 billion, right? But here's a deeper reality that's going to hurt. See, when all them people end up on their deathbed who was laughing at him and all that, for standing up for Jamari, who's sitting up making a video about homie for doing this and roasting him, it's about he gets destroyed after a date and all that. See, when they be on their deathbed and that reality starts to set in about all the things that they did that they never got to do in life and all that. See, everybody who laughed at him in the audience, they always say, oh, like, I wish I would have had the courage to do that. I wish I would have had the courage to say what I really wanted. Most people who end up on their deathbed and they fuck around and get to talking about shit, like on real shit, all of them would tell you, I wish I would have had the courage to talk to that girl. I wish I would have had the courage to try to do what I wanted. I always wanted to open my own theater, but I never had the courage to do it. So I laughed at everybody who tried it and failed it. Yeah. See, that reality hurts. See, and that's where motherfuckers like Dr. Z runs out the room if I start talking to her. Because, see, that deeper reality hurts. Because there's no way around it. Right? Yeah. You sitting there making fun of, Skippy out there living his life. Again, I would dare anybody in this chat room to do what Skippy did. I'd be scared. I would do it, but I'd be scared to do what Skippy did. That's hard shit, man. Look, again, I think, in order to do that, that motherfucker got a bigger pair of balls on him than I was. Okay. Skippy has a bigger pair of balls on him than anybody who commented on this fucking video. Right? Skippy has a bigger pair of balls than anybody, including the motherfucker who made the video. Skippy has a bigger pair of balls than anybody in this comment section right now. And yeah, nobody want to talk about that. That's gonna keep that quiet. Because what's that gonna? It's gonna hurt because that's reality. See, reality hurts. Reality tends to make motherfuckers run away. Delusion, fucked up mentality and delusion attract. But reality, that hurts. People don't like that. Reality hurts. So you know what's easier? Is to sit back in a crowd like this and chuckle.
Well,
because see the fact that he went out there and tried what he tried and got rejected. See, now this man is aware of the reality. Reality can be a bitch. Reality hurts. But see, now he knows reality. See, nobody else in that crowd knew. Okay, nobody else in that crowd had the courage to do that. I guarantee you. At least the ones who laughed at him. And they don't have, and why don't they have the courage? Because they're scared of it, because they're afraid of rejection. And what is rejection? The acknowledgement on the reality of your rejection is the reality of your imagination. The acceptance or rejection is the reality of your imagination. And that shit can either hurt or feel great. But but in that process, there's a chance of being extremely vulnerable. And that will scare away most people to be just some fucking background chuckler in the video versus being the motherfucker front stage and center. Yo, let me read this. It said, "Hey, it's me again. The situation was actually years ago, but I can't bring myself to try again. I know it's weak, but Western women are harsh, and I haven't had a woman interested in years due to me no longer putting myself out there due to shame, to be honest." Yo, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that. Again, different people heal at different times. But what I say is this, man. What helped me? What helped me? What helps me? Because I get down about right now, dude. I'm getting walloped in North America right now, financially speaking. I'm getting fucking walloped. It's looking like it's finally getting better now, but I took a beating for some months in North America. So so being down is I'm not foreign to it, right? And getting real down, because you got to remember, since I'm over in Europe, like I'm alone over here, so every decision and choice I make is up to me. It's not much help for me out here, right? And there's not a lot of help for me out here. I'm alone, right? So what helps me is what helps me. Because of course you're gonna go through that initial phase of thinking it's all about you and it's just you and it hurts you because it hurts because you must have did something wrong. It was you, you're terrible. You're never ever gonna find anything again. Two things. One thing that helps me is this, and I never tell anybody this, but the fact that you reached out again, I'm gonna tell you something that I'm gonna tell YouTube right now. Things I never things I never tell anybody about the mental tricks that I have in my head to help me to get back up. I'm not going to say it's going to work every time, but it definitely helps me a lot, right? So, like, for example, when a dog is like beaten down, right? And if a dog keeps getting abused and beaten down and just abused and beaten, kicked and punched, the dog that was once a dog who was like, yeah, I'll go try something, and next thing you know, the dog is looking like this at you kind of shit, like he's scared to look at you and all that shit, right? He kind of doing because society and life for whatever reason is beating him down. He used to be a dog that was but then society came after years of beating him, kicking him, and now he's walking around like this, doing this type of shit. And he's like, just like fucked up. I tell myself, don't become that beaten dog. Do not become that beaten dog. Don't, or if you do, don't stay there for long, right? Do not stay there for long. You have to get up and you have to get up, get back out there and try again, right? You have to. If anything, when you go out there, expect to fail. And this is one thing that I don't like. This is one thing that I don't like about motivational speakers is I think this is a very important part that they get completely wrong is that they tell you to go out there and expect to win, right? I don't know if they get it wrong or I don't know if they just don't know how to fully explain it properly. So what works for me is this. I go out into the world expecting to lose, right? When I go out to the world, I expect the worst. I expect nobody to like me. I expect nobody to open a door for me. I don't expect anybody to give me anything for free. None of that. I expect to be treated the worst. Because then after that, any benefit is a win. Any niceness in the world is now a complete win to me. Right? Like Patrice, like my self-esteem is so low, it's high kind of thing. This is how it happens. Right. So when these motivational speakers go and say, well, you got to fake it till you make it and all that shit like that, I think that's bullshit. I think you should know how to acknowledge and be happy with a win, but expect. My thing is this: casually expect a loss. Let's say that. casually expect the loss. Don't go out there being like, well, you shouldn't like me anyway because I'm short and I'm bald. You know, don't. I think that's going to the black pill way of like trying to, you know, almost making a self-fulfilling prophecy of rejection. I wouldn't say go about it like that. Still go out there and try. Go out there and try to be nice, but expect to hear a no. Expect to get rejected, right? Right. Go out there and because here's the thing: dealing with these Europeans, man. One thing that I've noticed too, dealing with these Europeans, Americans are very nice. Westerners are usually very nice, whereas most people in the rest of the world, they don't have that same sense of politeness. They don't have the same sense of personal space that we had, that us Americans have. They don't have anywhere near that same sense of like, you know, personal space, awareness, don't bump into me type of shit. Like in America, that's a fight. Out here, it's, oh, excuse me. But in America, you know, you bump into somebody in North America, that's a fight, right? You know, in Western worlds. But see, these Europeans, they not really on that, right? So for a while, I was trying to like adapt to them and like bumping the motherfuckers and shit like that. And I caught myself. I said, no, no, I'm going to hold on to to what I am and my politeness. Because it's going to be more strength to hold on to what I am and my sense of politeness than to just follow these dumb motherfuckers around, right? And end up like them, right? But even with that, like I expect reject. See, weirdly enough, because like I said, these European, like, this is what they don't tell you in these like European movies and I'd love to go to Europe. No, Europeans can be very rude. They're not very nice at all. I mean, well, some can be nice, but the sense of like little decencies, like, you know, personal space, don't bump into people, you know, these types of things. They don't really get it. Like, you know, they don't really understand like where I come from with it. So my thing is holding on to what I am, but I still expect them to be awkward by it. I expect them to take it like a whole nother way and all that shit like that. I don't expect to be treated nice ever. Right. But in that getting beat down, I just in my mental image, whenever I start getting beaten down, which I'm beaten down now. Right. But when I get beat down, I just remember that I have this mental image of like a sad dog looking at me in my face. And I just tell myself, do not become that dog. You have to get up and you have to keep going out. You have to go out and try again until if you have to bang your head against the wall 1,000 fucking times, then you bang your head against that wall 1,000 times until you get it right. Right? You have. Another thing that helps me, I'll show you a game. These games help me too. With dealing with emotions. Zachtronic. They're usually very difficult games, but playing Zachtronic games, for me, like when I would play like these relatively speaking hardcore logic games, it forces you to get out of that like emotional tie and like just see, okay, what is this really? And then now it's just a series of numbers, series of odds, and then you could just still go out there and play. Now you still don't get down about it if you lose a game or something like that. I never even heard of half these that I'm seeing now. I got this right. This is a really fun one. Opus Magnum. I got this right now. It's more just like a programming game kind of thing. But yeah, this was what helped me too. Of it helped me in separating them. Like at some point you're gonna get emotionally down. It's just gonna happen. But if once you recoup, you can kind of see it and then work with it in some kind of way. But that was another thing that helped me too. We're playing these kind of hardcore, relatively speaking, hardcore logic games. I'm gonna play that tonight because I haven't played it in a while now. But yeah, read these comments. Skippy seems like a decent guy, but has a hard time reading social cues and body language. It seems he doesn't realize women communicate indirectly. Yeah. And the thing is, like, here's the thing with Skippy. Here's the thing. Here's the other part about dating and all this shit, right? See, and this is what women don't understand at all. Because I always tell this story about when I was walking with the girl I was dating before Kratos' mom. I was walking with her in the center of Prague, right? And I remember we walked past a bar, and she comes next to me. She goes, ew. And I say, what? And she goes, you see him over there? And it was this dude working in a restaurant. And I go, yeah. And she goes, he tried to talk to me like a month ago. Right? Now, How a regular guy would see it would be like they would feel good about that, right? Like, oh my God, like, he tried talking to her and he couldn't get her and I could type of shit, right? But I know how women are dumb as fuck, right? See, the reality of it is that guy who she's talking about, all he had to do was go out and the next shot that he took succeeded with that next woman, and she's seen him with another woman, her whole perspective of him would have changed. Entire perspective would have changed because he was now wanted by another woman. Right? Right. So in the position of men, see, women's opinions are worth less than a turd. Or it should be worth less than a turd to a man. Right? And as a man, that next shot can be the win. I would say look at it like gambling. How gamblers do, like, what they always say about gambling, you were just one try away from winning the jackpot. I would say take dating and women in that same regard. All it takes is that one. Any of those porn actors you see, the guys that facial abuse, ghetto gaggers, they'll all tell you, if we sat down and had a candid conversation, they would agree with me. They say, look, like they just went on a streak of just getting no pussy, and all of a sudden one woman came around and it changed it changed everything for them, given the right context. Because here's the thing, the guys that facial abuse right now, right, which I have a lot of respect for those guys. See, now they're always in a position to find bitches to fuck on camera like that, because see, now other women see other women fucking them on camera, right? But if they were just starting out, especially in today's climate, and was trying to do that with no history, videos on internet or anything, and was trying to do that, they'll have a whole lot harder time with it, because other women don't have the validation from other women. Because if you go back to facial abuse's older videos, they women was like pretty fucking, a lot of them were pretty beat up looking, like they were clearly like drug addicts or trailer trash, and they developed into what they got now. I would put it up here. Let me see if I can find. I'll tell you what I do. Let me see if I can do this. Let's do, because they may not have any actual pornographic. Yeah. Oh yeah, this isn't bad. Yeah, so we do this. Because there's no, that might be some nudity. I'll tell you what, let me do this just to make sure I don't get nudity on the screen. Let me do this. And because I'm getting ready to go to facial abuse website. And we're going to do this. But I'm blocking the screen right now because there might be some nudity that pops up. Yep, like right now, there's nudity. Oh. I want to scroll down without a video playing, because a video might start playing. Yeah, see, once it starts playing like that, I don't want it to play. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so it doesn't look like one's going to play. So hopefully none of this is going to play. So you see all these women up here on their website? See, when they first started out, they didn't have this physical quality of woman. It didn't start like that. I would scroll down, but if I scroll over, a video is going to start playing and show you. So I can't scroll over to it. But this is their website, right? And these are the women that they get on the website, right? Now when facial abuse started out, they'll tell you, like, because I've been following facial abuse for a long time. I've been following the guys for a long time. And like their first women, they did not have, like, they could not throw up just like pages like this of skinny, healthy looking women. Right? They were like clearly like drug addicts and shit like that, right? But they had to build their way. See, now, if facial abuse had gone out there in the world today with none of that history and tried to get these same women, they might have a little bit harder time doing it. Now, they will have a harder time doing it, right? That's just the reality of it. So it's the thing, as a man, like, all it's gonna take is that one to get you there, right? And people try to blame it on game and all that shit. I honestly don't think it has anything to do with game. I think it has more to do with just luck, timing, and, because like I say, man, like I used to say this a while back, depending on the right luck and the right timing, you could walk up to a bitch and say, hey, I want a blowjob. And some girls, they'd be like, ew, no. And other girls, they'd be like, well, wait till my shift's over. I'll meet you in the car. type of thing, right? Like it's just the time, and she may be totally down. Some women are out there. They look. Some women are walking down the street right now, wishing a man would walk up to him and talk to him like that. There's some women right now who are wishing a man had a collar in his back pocket for her to wear. But we don't know who they are. We don't have the right timing. Depending on if she talked to her mother that day, that can change her her timing on it, whatever. So from the position of a man, like we have to we're literally just left with gambling at this point, right? Because here's the thing I tell my girl. Here's the thing, because we have these talks all the time. I tell her all the time. I say, look, here's the thing. If one, like Socrates said, look, I'm pretty sure it was Socrates, or maybe it was Pluto, said, nobody goes out in the world intending to do something wrong or intending to be evil or intending to, offend people, right? Everybody goes out in the world trying to do the best that they can with what they have, right? Everybody on earth, when they wake up in the morning, majority of, unless they have like a serious mental condition, they're trying to go out there and do the best that they can with whatever they have, right? Now, and what I tell Esmeralda is this. From there, I say this. Look, there is no, okay, if every man knew what to say to get you to have sex with him, he would just say that. There is no man out there who intentionally wants you to say no to him. There is not one man who wakes up and genuinely, wholeheartedly wants to approach you and wants to hear you say no. If that man had his way, he would know exactly what to say to you to get you, right? And so I play Sunday Morning for her, because she doesn't know the lyrics to songs very much at all. So in the song Sunday Morning, there's a part by Maroon 5. It goes, things just get so crazy, living life gets hard to do. But I would gladly get up and walk the road if I knew that someday it would lead me back to you. So after I played that for her, in the context, it was now she'll sing it now, right? Because I had to enlighten her mind. See, so for me and Esmeralda, I've coached her to become a relatively decent human in philosophy, or at least to be able to understand now, where like most women don't get that. So most women just live their entire lives out a complete piece of shit. Right. But okay, back to the reality of the gambling. See, no man goes in the world wanting a woman to say no. No, but you see what I'm saying? No man does this shit. Right. But see, women are so self-centered, they don't even take the time to think about that side of it. Right. She does. When a woman walks in the room, she's expecting everything to be already made for her. And if it's not, it's offensive. Because women are pieces of shit. That's why. Right? A woman wants everything to already be made for her or made for another woman. From dressing rooms to shopping malls to restaurants to porn studios. Right? If I was to start right now and make a porn studio, I guarantee you I would have a much harder time than facial abuse, right? Because the facial abuse guys, they went through the development. They went through the periods of getting rejected, getting ghosted, getting a bitch here or there to do a video, probably doing a video a month type of shit, a video every 2 months. And they built up the history to the point where other women seen it and went, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. And then they went up and say, hey guys, I like to suck cock on camera for a few bucks. And then the clientele builds. And now they're in this position now, right? Why? Because they originally had to get their shot here or there. They had to, get success here or there, sporadically until it added up. Like building a business. Building women is like building a business, right? They're literally just objects. That's how you have to look. And here's the thing. Women always get mad about this perspective, but it's how you have to manage them. You have to treat women like objects. You cannot treat them righteously as a human, because they'll treat you like shit. You have to treat a woman like an object. It's the only way. Period. If you try to be nice to a woman, what's she gonna do? She's gonna treat you like shit, take the house, take the kids, take the car, right? What woman never takes the house, never takes the car, begs for the baby's father to come back and see the kids? What woman does that? It's the man who treats her like shit. That's the woman who does that. The woman who doesn't take the car, who doesn't take the house, who sits around and waits for the baby father to come back and see her and her kid again. What woman's do? Okay, what woman is doing that? You think the woman who's doing that has the man who's treating her nice and well? No, it never is. The man who treats her nice and well is always the man who gets his house taken. Right? The man who doesn't get his house taken is the man who treats her like shit. That's the man who doesn't get his house taken. The man who treats her like an object. That's how you get a woman to become decent. Statistically speaking, that's what it is, right? You can This reminds me of a stream where 80 ends it with golden shower image of Lana Rhodes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and no woman is innocent for these. Oh no. Yeah, trying to look up the innocent. Look, okay, let me hold on. I want to see if I can look up one of these women individually. I'm just gonna make myself bigger so I don't get an image up. But look, dude, like, okay, well, first off, every one of these women, okay, first off, let's be 100% clear. Every single one of these women you see on this screen right now has at least 5 beta orbiters hoping that she texts them back. Step 1, remember that. Every one of these women, and we're going to see throughout their lineup, every woman who's going to facial abuse to drink piss out of a funnel has at least 5 men patiently waiting for a text back from them. Right? So remember that shit, dude. Remember that. Every one of these women sitting up with cum on their face on this fucking screen has a man who's willing to fight for her because AD said something about him. Right. Remember that. Remember this shit. Don't forget it. Because men have this weird sense of separation of, well, no, she must be an angel because she has cute eyes. Look, don't let them cute eyes fool you. She has a soft voice. Look, that bitch was a librarian. Look, man, I told you stories about the girl. I used to have the chick girl who used to bring down her girlfriend. I would fuck her. Look, that girl, she looked like she was a beautiful librarian type, and she got with a guy now, and that guy has no idea what I did to her. Pissed on her, spit in her face. I remember I was jacking off while and I told her to play with my nipples while I jack off. And she was like, we were literally standing right here. Like, cause the bed's right here. And she was on her knees, reaching up, playing with my nipples while I'm jacking off and spitting in her face. And I came all over her face, right? And how much one bet that new guy has no idea. No idea. So don't look, remember that. Don't, and if you see a picture of that woman, she looks like she's a beautiful librarian. Like a beautiful, one of them blonde hair, you would never think she was into that shit. Never. You would never in a million years think that she was into doing that. Never. So let me go over here. Hang on. Let's go. Cause I ain't trying to get in trouble. Can I see pictures? Maybe. Well, I'll tell you what I could do, because I always wanted to do this. Let's do this. Yeah, you guys can't see it. Okay. Oh, you can't even see anything. Well, that's a still shot, but you can't even see it. Yeah. So there's nothing pornographic in this. You can't see anything in that. Look. So you see this? See that girl who you sitting up freaking out about in the club, trying to, hoping that she say yes and all that. And a girl who told you no, she was, look. And she had a good old, she went back to do it again. Yeah, this is reality, dude. This is reality. And see, like I say, reality hurts. See, there's a lot of chumps on Reddit and Facebook who will fight for a woman's right. Oh, you have to respect the woman and all that shit. And that woman is doing something. Look, Them bitches out there doing everything and playing that game up well. Oh, here's a good one. It was right next to it. Wait, hang on. I don't think I can get. Let me see. Yeah, that's good. This is good right here. There you go, right there. Piss orgy, and you sitting up. Oh, I hope she likes me. I can't get her off my brain. I'm not talking about you, anonymous, like men out there, and I was in that position too. Look, man, women, look. And you can't. You mean to tell me if you seen her walking down the street, you would think she would do that? If you seen her working in Starbucks, do you think she would do this? Do you really think she would do that? If you seen her just in clothes, sitting in La Rosa's Pizza, in Domino's, you think she would? No. Them bitches are doing everything, man. They out there doing everything. They playing that game up to the fullest. Because they know chumps out there thinking that, oh, women are perfectly angels and all that silly shit. I'm trying to find a good one. This ain't even a good one. I'm trying to find one with the funnel shit. They out there doing all types of shit. Here's one. You have a bitch doing some shit like this. Well, I don't know if I can, because this is right on the corner. I can't get it to where, yeah, I can't. Well, I probably could click the video and then just zoom in at this part. Yeah, bitches doing all, yeah. So let's do, no, because I can't get the dick out. Hang on. Well, let's do, hang on, yeah. Where's the pornographics? Yeah, so you could pretty much put this together from this view. You can put, oh no, there is something. Yeah, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Oh, yeah, I can't use that one. Hang on. And these bitches out there doing everything. Hold on, let me see. They have. I'm trying to find one with a funnel. They out there doing everything. Let's see, funnel. Yeah, this is a good one. Ah, shit. Let me. Yeah, here we go. See that? See that? Oh, yeah. That's something new. That's new. No new in that. See that woman who that woman who you in the club up there trying to impress and all that. Yeah, what do you think she out there doing? Yeah, and she will look you dead in your face and say ew and go home and drink a bottle of piss, lick it off the floor, right? And got men on OnlyFans spending $25 a month for an OnlyFans subscription just to look at the bitch. She's fucking garbage. She's literally a fucking cockroach. She's a scavenger. She's worse than a scavenger. And motherfuckers out here buying, a motherfucker going here buying this bitch fucking dresses and cars and everything else, buying this retarded bitch all types of shit. And this bitch got a belly full of piss and spit. and then guess what? She got up in the morning and cooked him breakfast. Right? They're fucking trash, dude. Like, they're fucking garbage. They're disgusting. They're fucking garbage. She's fucking garbage, dude. This is what they out there doing. All them bitches in the club and all. What do you think they doing? What you think they studying astrophysics? You think they doing anything of intellectual prowess? No, she's nourishing off piss, spit, and cum. That's what she's doing. And then in her off time, she's trying to figure out, well, where does her social status rank her in the midst of her friends and whose spit, piss, and cum they drinking, or what man they entertain at the time. Right? Right? This is what I'm getting at, man. Like, and motherfuckers out there going crazy about these bitches, man. I want to find one more. Now I'm curious. Because I really want to find, like, a good one. This is not, like, I can't find a good angle. Hang on. I want to find, like, I just have in my mind, like, this perfect side angle. And I can't find it. Well, this is a good one. What do you think this is in her mouth? This is the last one I'm gonna do because I'm tired of doing this. What do you think this is in her mouth? Is this chicken soup? Hang on. What do you think that is? And then you got these fucking clowns on Reddit and Facebook and social media. I heard talking about some protector. Protector. She's innocent in a world full of evil men. And she's sitting there just playing into that game, dude. She's in there just playing into the game. Like, yeah, you like how they had that game with Mario, them skits with Mario where Peach was sitting in the bed with Bowser, and Bowser was like, let me guess, Mario's chasing you down in another castle, and Peach was like, yeah. Like, because they out here playing that game up. They're playing the game, keeping their social status because they know that social status of being a cute woman will get the other simps to protect her from the real dudes out there. And in her off time, she'll do this. Right? And in the meantime, oh, no, I think I clicked it off. In the meantime, the vast majority I'm stuck in. Well, if I get 6 figures, would you? If I'm 6 foot tall. And this fucking cockroach is drinking piss. And you trying to build your whole life up, as the men out there are trying to build their whole life up and build it around a woman who is literally out there consuming human waste for a living. And fuck around and be heartbroken off it. I mean, everybody gonna get heartbroken at some point. But like, yeah, like what I'm getting is where times have grown to now. It's just gotten it's gotten preposterous. But that's what it is. That's where we are. And here's the thing: she has the nerve to look at you and say, "Ew." Are you serious? She has the nerve to look at to claim that she could look at a man and be completely in the right to say, "Ew." Like, you're fucking gross. Like, you're a woman. Like, a woman is a fucking cockroach, man. It's fucking disgusting shit. Like, she's just disgusting, man. It just is what it is. Like, they're disgusting as fuck. Like, I think women are just, especially Western. I think they're just. I think if it weren't for me just getting horny and just wanting to fuck a woman, like, I would literally just never ever talk to a woman ever again, right? And I think that's the reality for the vast majority of men. I think the vast majority of men would, if they really gave it any thought, that they would be forced to agree. Like, if you just didn't get horny. And if you just didn't get horny at all and you know and want to fuck them, like, there will be no reason at all to ever talk to a woman ever again, right? But yeah, I wanted to analyze Beyond the Aquila Rift in case anybody watches it. Well, no, because I don't want to spoil it. This is my favorite episode, but there's a spider on it. Well, it's like a spider type of thing, but so what happens in Beyond the Aquila Rift is it's like it's set in the future sometime where like motherfuckers can like travel, and they do in interstellar travel to like deliver shit, right? And you're following this delivery team. It's 2 men and a woman, but the guy is one man is the main character. This dude right here, he's the main character. Oh, can I zoom in? It's not gonna let me zoom in. This dude's the main character. So what happens is, so he has to put himself to sleep to get sent out to, you know, because he's got to travel like really far away. So I guess it's gonna take a long time. So they put themselves to sleep before the travel, right? So in the middle of it, so he wakes up and the alarms are like going off, right? He's like, yo, what the fuck's going on? What happened? And when he wakes up, he sees like an old female friend that he used to know, and she came and said, "Hey, like, yeah, like you guys got you guys went to the wrong place, but we'll take care of you, right? You guys are way off course, but we'll fix it." And there was some other shit that happened. I'm not gonna go too deep into it. But the long story short, what happens is the girl's not real, right? And the guy figures it out, and he goes, "Well, so tell me what happened." Well, the girl says, "Okay, yeah, like you never woke up out of your pod. You're still asleep right now." And he goes, "Well, I want to see what happened. Tell me what happened." And the girl's going like I'm sorry, Tom, but like I don't think you're ready to see the reality of what happened because like you guys went way off course. And you're like, "Well, why we go like how far off we?" He goes, "Yeah, you." So she goes to a map and says like, "Yeah, you guys like 200 light years off course, right? So even if you were to go back home, like there's a good chance, okay, nothing you know is gonna be back home, even if we got you back home. Like you just because due to the relativity, like with the relativity of time or whatever, the theory of relativity, like by that, even if they would have got his team back home, 200 years had passed would have passed. So nothing was ever even gonna be right if they got him home. So he goes, okay, now he's like pissed. He wants to see the reality of where he is because he knows he's asleep. And the girl goes like, "Yeah, you like I want you to know that I really care for you, and I care for all the lost souls who end up out here, meaning like all the people who got like just went to like the completely wrong area kind of thing, right?" And she said, like all the lost souls who ever come out here, I'm so sorry for you. Like I really don't want to hurt you, type of thing. I don't want you to be angry. I want you to be pleasured. Because they were having sex and all this. And he goes, I gotta see, right? And so she wakes him up and they stuck. Let me see if they show a picture of it. They're like, yeah. So this is what he looks like when he wakes up. He's just malnourished as fuck, deflated. And then that's the girl who he was fucking. Yeah, and then this is where they are. They're just like in a big ass spider web, right? And then this fucking spider comes, and that's the spider who actually taps into his mind to feed him a good thought while the spider eats him. The spider's eating him and his two friends, right? That they went out there. So the deeper message was like some kind of way the spider ended up out there on accident, right? And the spider couldn't survive. But what happened was other travelers would kind of accidentally end up out there. So the spider has a need to survive, but the spider genuinely doesn't want to hurt anybody, even though it looks horrible, it looks disgusting. The spider really doesn't want to hurt anyone, right? So what it does is instead it tries to just slowly eat the person while feeding them just a great memory as they slowly pass away. And it's really like, if you really analyze it on that level, it's really like this wow thing, like, and the music fit perfectly. I thought it was by far my favorite episode. But yeah, it was really sad because you never really hear, very few stories really touch on that to show that the bad guys really aren't bad. They're just doing the best that they can do with the situation, right? So the spider puts him back to sleep and starts the whole dream over and hopes he doesn't find out the reality and just wipes his mind. But yeah, the spider has to eat because you could tell by the act, like the spider was saying, I really don't want to hurt you. Like I care for all of you who come out here, and it's just a fucked up situation kind of thing, right? And the game Near Replicant does a great job of that because in the game Near Replicant, in this game, I actually gave this away for free on my channel, probably about two or 3 years ago. In this game, what happens is you go through the whole game just kind of fighting robots and machines, right? And the robots are just speaking this unintelligible language while you're fighting them. Or even like animals, like you're fighting, like I think it's like lions or wolves or something like that you had to fight at one point. And they're speaking this you can't understand what they're saying. So all you know is like, okay, I got to kill these guys to get to the next level. Well, later on in the game, you go through the memories of fighting, but now you can understand what they're saying. And all they're saying is like, we have to fight for our people. Like they took our land and we don't have anything else left. We don't want to have to hurt him, but he's hurting us. So we have to fight him. And it's like, damn, like they weren't even like, yeah, they were bad guys, but you explore that other side. Like Nobody's really a bad guy. They're just doing the best that they can with what they have, right? And it's really it's further into the game once you get to that understanding. It's pretty deep into the game, but it's really like those type of philosophical reasonings I think are absolutely just beautiful. And these philosophical reasonings are a waste of time to women don't care about that. Women just want attention. Women just want attention. They don't care about any in-depth thought is a mere hobby to impress men at best. They don't really. Most women don't really. The majority won't really care about anything like that unless they think a valuable man cares about it. Then they just don't care at all. Like they won't care at all. Hey, do you sound like those sci-fi convention nerds? Well, yeah. Yeah, but Beyond the Aquila Rift is by far the most, in my opinion, it was the most thought provoking. That it left me thinking for like at least an hour after it, like the realities of what that spider would have had to go through, and it clearly didn't want to eat anybody, and and it was like seriously like empathetic over the whole situation. And when he wakes up, the spider comes to him and says, "Hi, Tom." Like tries to be nice to Tom, and Tom just freaks the fuck out because he's not used to seeing a fucking 20-foot tall spider speaking English to him. Like so he freaked the fuck out, and the spider just put him right back under immediately, and fed him a dream again while he just slowly dies out. Beautiful. It really was just a beautiful story. And what was the that episode I was talking about earlier, the Omega season 2. This episode is now one of my favorite episodes. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why people don't why this got such a low rating, because I loved it, and I think the message got interpreted wrong at the end. So IMDb it got like a 6 out of 10. And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, the reason why this got a low rating would be the same reason why pretty much any history book that touches any movie or media that will touch. Yeah, thanks for the subscription, GT Extra. Thanks a lot, man. Any media that will touch on any thought on the majority or the majority of watchers' history, they're gonna hate it. They're going to hate it. Hate it. One review in here actually said it made me feel bad to be an American. And that person gave it a 1 out of 10. Actually, let me show you. And I would guarantee, I already know who it was. I already know who the demographic of who it's going to be. I could already tell you the demographic, if I could find it. Hang on. User, no, let me go back. He said it made him feel bad for being an American. And when you watch the episode, you completely understand why he says that. Because it's kind of hard to follow about halfway through. And I had to pause it to... So this is another review that touches on history, and they're not going to like it. They're not going to give it... Yeah, they'll call it like the worst of the series. I know. It'll be they'll all call it stupid but memorable, worst of the series, worst Star Trek ever. Yeah. See, and a decent episode let down by a poor ending. Yeah, see, the reason why this person will say that, when you watch it, you'll completely know. So in the episode, I'll tell you my side of it. In the episode, what happens is, it's the Star Trek Enterprise. Their whole purpose is to go around and, and observe life but not completely interfere with their development, shit like that. Help them out if they can, whatever, and then leave, right? So in this episode, they come across another Enterprise that was just kind of like stuck at a planet. It wasn't moving or anything. And they see that it was like it's not damaged or anything. It's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. It's not replying to any messages. It's just existing, right? So they beamed onto that shit, and everybody was just dead. Like they were all crystallized, right? So I said, yo, what the fuck happened? So they beamed down to the planet, and it's like kind of this weird, like almost like Native American / country westerner type of town. And they were getting ready to execute somebody, And so they come across like the one survivor of the ship, right? The one survivor from the other Enterprise, right? And he says, yeah, like everybody on my ship is dead because once you come down to this planet, you're going to get an illness, and if you go back up, if it, but the thing is, as long as you stay on this planet, you'll be fine. But if you go back up to other humans, you're going to kill everybody there. So you have to, for some reason, if you just stay here, you're totally fine, right? And they believed him, right? Of course, because they don't know anything else, and all they seen was dead people on the ship, so they bought it. Well, come to find out, they got so slowly they found out. Well, all these, and it was humans on the planet. They found that all these humans, they knew what a phaser was, even though they were a primitive, relatively speaking, a primitive people. They knew what a phaser was. They knew what a battery pack was. And some of them even had battery packs on them. It was like, wait a minute. Like, how the fuck did you guys get this shit? Did he must have gave it to you some kind of way, right? So as the story goes on, the doctor, they end up enslaving Captain Kirk, because I forget what the fuck happened, but they got the doctor to actually look up the illness to see if there's a serum. So the original bad guy, he thought, like, it comes out that his plan was to actually stay on the planet because he thought that he would be able to live forever because the people there could live to be like 400 years old to 1,000 years old, right? So he thought he would be able to live that long if he could figure out some serum to get there. Well, the doctor figured out something happened to the people where there was this crazy black plague that happened, but on their planet, the people ended up, their body created like some massive antibody that ended up making them live like for crazy long times, right? So there was nothing he could really do to put it into the bag to the only guy who survived the body, and the guy was mad because he was just under this he was under a whole misunderstanding. The other part of the misunderstanding, because the bad guy was not a scientist, so he had no understanding of this. He said, look, due to the disease, if you come down to the planet and then leave, yeah, you'll kill everybody. But if you come down here and you stay, then you'll grow immune to it. So you're totally fine. You can go back up. We can go back around to other people. So then he tried to keep him on the planet because now the guy's crazy. He's mad because he was wrong. He keeps him on the planet. So he locks up Captain Kirk and Spock and McCoy in a prison, and he locks Captain Kirk up with this primitive man, right? And it's a white man, right? But he's like, he's primitive, right? And he's like, and Captain Kirk is talking to Spock and all that, and then he says, freedom. And the primitive white man goes, freedom? And he goes, yeah, freedom. And so they just kind of say freedom back and forth. And it's kind of ended that. After they fight, they kind of exchange the word freedom. And then he breaks out of prison. And long story short, they kind of had a little squabble. But long story short, the main bad guy and Captain Kirk's gang ends up going to court with the indigenous people. Well, what happened was, on their Earth, which is pretty much like a mirror of the U.S. of Earth's history, they were calling them Yangs and Coms, and they were trying to put together like, well, this motherfucker knew the word freedom. How did he know English? And so he goes Yang, and he's saying Yanks, the Yanks and the commies, and they deduced that the communism on this planet actually won, right? So as they were in court, these primitive people pull out this American flag, right? And they come into the courtroom with this American flag. And I'm like, oh shit. So on this planet, the Americans lost and the communists won. And the bad guy came down to the white Westerners who were run out and had to pretty much deduce back down to being Indians, right? To theoretically speaking, in the context, they really became the Native Americans. And their English was fucked up because over in their context, over 1,000 years, they had lost the English language. So they were reading shit fucked up. They were just pronouncing words wrong, as they were supposed to be pronounced. So the Native American guy, he pulls out the sacred text, right? And nobody's supposed to look at it because it's sacred and only God can look at it. And Captain Kirk goes, yeah, move. And he opens his shit and he goes, these are not sacred papers. This is the Declaration of Independence, motherfucker. Right? And then the guy says, "We the people play," and he goes, "This does not say we the people play. This says we the people." And you like, oh shit, like, so it exposed that reality of showing like the white Westerner getting beat down, right? And having to be reduced to indigenous people. And that's why these people will hate it, because it hurts their history and pride. That episode was showing the reality and it like of what could possibly happen. And even one day it could still happen, right? That's why these reviews will be bad, because it opened that thought experiment up to history. And okay, because as you go on an episode, the bad Star Trek guy, he was telling about how he starts going crazy, goes, yeah, they just kept coming, and I killed 1,000 of them with my phaser until my phaser ran out of battery, and I kept killing more and more, and it was thousands and thousands of them I kept killing until I dominated. It was all these little parts that added up to America's history of what they did to the Native Americans there on a massive scale, because the Native Americans had their own issues too, but the English like were horrible to them. Like they just flat out slaughtered them. So this episode brings up that history, and like you can't make media that's gonna make them feel bad, because they're gonna quickly vote it down with immediate quickness. This episode was not so much of going out there and experiencing a different culture. It was more kind of like a mixture of the future, but with an alternate universe of Earth. That's really what it, and it was about sending a message that like, yeah, like you know, one, well, that's kind of what you know, what the American history did to the natives here on a massive scale, you know. And that's and maybe those Native Americans, by talking like this, maybe they're not so dumb after all. And it would open up that entire thought process. And I would guarantee you, this is probably going to be ranked one of the lowest episodes, or it's going to be an episode like this because it hurts that majority who watched it. It brought up a whole thought experiment at the end, and the realities of it. And I think it's one of the best episodes. I think it's great. Because I'm not hurt by it, right? I'm not pro-America. I'm not pro-Russia. I'm not pro-Europe. I think everybody's a piece of fucking shit, right? I just love to watch life happen. It, ultimately speaking, I'm a fan of developments. I'm a fan of watching human development. I'm not pro-America. I'm not pro-Africa. I'm not pro-South America. I'm not pro-Canada. I'm not pro-Russia. Not pro-Europe. Not pro-Asia. None of that shit. Not pro-Middle East. I'm pro watching human development happen and watching how people react and respond to it and adapt to it. That's what I'm a huge fan of. Huge fan of that shit. And I think this episode was a great thought experiment, especially for its time. In the 60s, when did this come out? In 68? Oh no, they probably almost got canceled for putting that on. I would bet they probably almost got canceled for putting that on TV, because it's gonna hurt that majority's feelings of thinking about realities of history. And it will, okay, correction. It's gonna hurt the majority's it's gonna hurt the majority's ego of realizing their history from a position of being seen as superior in the world, right? Because here's the thing, because you can rag on Africa's history all day. You come up with any mental gymnastics to come up with the Congo Wars or whatever the fuck, or the Rwanda genocide. You can come up with any mental gymnastics to try to blame the Africans for that, right? But with America, you better not mutter a fucking any mental gymnastics to blame the British for doing what they did. You better not say one slight word about that, or yeah, that's straight blasphemy. And you will get poor ratings for it on TV. It'll be the poorest rated episode. I guarantee it's probably the poorest rated episode. And I think it's amazing. I thought it was great. AD, that was a beautiful take. I think I rant too much. I think it was so much it was hard to follow. But thank you, Ivy Bolt. What made you appeal to Star Trek and not Star Wars? Also, are you a fan of the TV series Battlestar Galactica from the 70s? Battlestar Galactica, no. And here's the thing, I have nothing against it. it just, to me, I just feel like it just seemed like too much. Kind of like getting like not Dragon Ball. What's that one? I can't think of the name of it. Like a lot of those animes that have like 300 episodes type of thing. It's just too. I'm just intimidated by how much of it is there, or the fan base that's already there. And I think that was a little bit what had to do with the next question about Star Wars. The Star Wars, it just seemed like Star Trek, in my opinion, didn't really have anywhere near the amount of fans until the newer movies came out. I feel like Star Trek was kind of almost like just a hidden nerd gem kind of thing, where until the newer movies came out. But Star Wars it was kind of the same thing with Star Wars. One, I just never really cared for Star Wars. I just don't get it. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I think FromSoft games are bad, but I won't say Star Wars. I don't think Star Wars is bad. I just don't understand it. Um, and then also I think it's kind of the same thing. Like the fan base is just so high that it's almost like I feel like I have to like it, and if I don't, something's wrong with me, kind of thing. And that's kind of killing the genuine development, growth in my in my journey with it, kind of thing. But with Star Trek, for me, it fits. The reason I like Star Trek more for me is because it fits more like the old Twilight Zones. Like it's kind of like these one off adventures of like a thought, like a thought experiment kind of thing, or like a twisted ending. So like Star Trek and Twilight Zone, for me, it kind of fits that same, that same. I don't have to follow like an entire storyline to get something. Like it's just like a 1 50-minute episode, 1 30-minute episode, and then that's it. And you just start all over again the next one. So I don't have to like remember all this shit that happened in episode 2, episode 3, episode 4 for it all to make sense by the time episode 14 comes out, kind of thing. Like and I feel like Star Wars kind of has a lot of that in it too, where like you really have to remember. Whereas Star Trek, I don't think you really have to remember a lot, except unless you watch the movies. Um, but yeah, Star Trek it's Star Trek for me is more of a Twilight Zone for me. Definitely, it's more of a Twilight Zone thing. And honestly, how did I ever start watching Star Trek? I don't even know. I think my dad might have was watching it, and I don't know how I watched Twilight Zone or Star Trek. Maybe it was clips on YouTube I stumbled onto and started watching Twilight Zone. I can't even remember, man. I don't even remember, honestly, because I'm sure it wasn't on TV when I was a kid. I don't know. I can't even. My dad tried to get me to watch Star Wars as a kid, but I don't even know how I got into Star Trek or Twilight Zone. But I know I love them. Do you see Donovan Sharp's wedding vows? No, no, I didn't. I'm sure it's wild. Let me see. But thank you, Somnirex. Let's see, thank you. I don't know what that's for, but I'll just say thank you back. Women claim they would deal with us men if it weren't for wouldn't deal with us men if it weren't for us protecting and providing. But I don't believe them. Women will always crave validation and to be dominated by men. Yeah, yeah. No men who really think deeply about women retain a higher opinion of them. Yeah, yeah. Because once you really see, like, okay, all they're really worth is just, okay, all their value is nothing of their own doing. Like, all their worth is, like, anything that they can produce, create, or develop is literally strictly biological. Like, nothing about them actually creates or develops anything, right? Like, once you give it much more thought, like, there's not much to really admire, a general woman's existence for. It's just like, oh, she's just there and she's just company, kind of thing. That's really all most men even want out of a woman. It's just company and sex. That's really it. If any man really gave it much more thought than that and were honest with themselves, but I think it's too scary for most men to think about, because it's that you open up a whole new level of thought. Like an episode like this, you're gonna open up thought that's scary, because maybe you weren't right in thinking that she was, omnipotent and perfect and dainty and completely beautiful and innocent. Maybe she's on facial abuse, you know, 5 years ago or 2 years ago or a year or 6 months ago. You don't know, right? Like with my girl, like she could be cheating with me right now. I have no way of knowing unless I find out, right? It can happen to anybody. It happened to Donovan Sharp. Happened to Donald Trump. There's no way of knowing what woman's drinking piss, you know, behind your back. There's no way of knowing. Like trying to keep track of it as a way, like trying to keep track of body counts. Like she's just gonna lie, dude. If it's a guy she wants, she's just gonna lie about it, right? So in my opinion, there's no real use to even try to keep track of it. Unless, now I wouldn't say go out and marry Lana Rhodes, you know, some trash like that. But in the regular world, you're just never gonna. If she look, no woman is gonna. Okay, no woman is gonna look at you and tell you, "Yeah, I did facial abuse." If she likes you, okay. Any woman who has any sense in any type of dating immediately knows that she is not gonna want to tell the man. Okay, do you think any woman wants to tell the man who she likes that she did facial abuse? She immediately knows, don't say that. She knows, right? She's never going to tell you. It'd be like a car salesman who's trying to sell cars to feed his kids. You know, he's not going to tell you that the transmission is fucked up. You mean that the brakes are leaking. He ain't going to want to tell you because he's trying to sell that car. He's trying to feed his kids. So he's not going to tell you that. It's either get that money out your pocket to feed his kids, you mean, or tell you the truth and watch his kids go hungry. He gonna feed his kids every time, right? Because you mean, cause he's looking for some aid and protection, like a woman. Woman's looking for aid and protection. So if she likes you and she figures you can protect her, you mean, and she's run out of options, she's going to tell you whatever you want to hear. She thinks you're gonna want to hear. She's gonna put on the whole, hi, well, she's gonna put on all that shit, dude. At some point, she might be shy in the beginning, but it'll come out because she likes you. So she's not gonna tell you when she sucked 5 guys' dicks behind the bar when she was 19. She's not gonna tell you when she got drunk and had a gangbang with her and her friend and 8 dudes from the club. She's not gonna tell you that. She's not gonna tell a guy she wants those stories because she knows that the guy don't want to hear that. Right? So if you don't want to hear it and she's not gonna tell you, how you gonna know? You might find out through a family friend if you're lucky, some shit like that, or at a party or something where people start telling. That comes out a lot, where a couple will go to a party and everybody start laughing or something like that. That's how I found out my ex-wife was fucking around, right? But by that time I wasn't fucking her, to be fair, but because I went to go hang out with a friend of mine, and they said, oh yeah, they were pointing at me saying he was married to his ex-wife, and they started laughing, right? This was, this was after we had our baby. So this was years later. And they started laughing, right? And yeah, that's how you find out. Because she would never tell me that. Right? So, I mean, she was probably cheating on me the whole time. You never know. There's no way to know. All you can do is expect some type of decency, respect out of her, and don't make a fool out of you, so everybody's like, laughing like when you walk into the room type of shit. Like, as long as you like okay, if a guy doesn't know that the woman's cheating on him, like I have no issue with the man. Now, if the man knows she's cheating on her, now that's a whole big problem. That's a big problem with the man. Well, the woman's a piece of shit the whole time, but the man, that's a big problem with me and the guy. I'm gonna get out of here, man. It's getting late. It's 10:06. I've never seen a heavy metal. I didn't even know heavy metal had an animated movie. I don't know how they would even make a movie out of that, because you never really seen the people in the games. From what I remember, it was just the cars. But yeah, I'm out of here, man, because it's getting late. I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for everybody who liked, tuned in, subscribed, donated. And I'll catch y'all later, man. Peace out. Uh-oh, where we at? Mute it.